I don't know why I'm shouting. I think it's because I didn't know the button was pressed. Hopefully I didn't say anything too racist while the microphone was on. But if I did, I mean, that's entertainment value for you all, I would assume. Alright. I want to make absolutely sure I cleared everything in Hitman 2. Pretty sure I did. Yeah, I did all that. So now we are beginning the story for Hitman 3 today. So that'll be fun.
Agent 47 and Diana Burnwood are the world's top assassins.
Burn that
working for
wood.
the ICA. Unknowingly, they have been hired by a shadow client to target a number of operatives in Providence, a secret organization
Right?
working in
It was
the
bad.
of power.
So freaking bad.
Providence
Oh
is
my
controlled
gosh.
by the Constant approaches Diana and makes her a deal.
Yeah, the rewatch. The rewatch didn't help it at all. Like I think after the first watch, I was probably somewhere between a 4.5 and a 5. But the rewatch, I mean, I'll give my score at the end of the show tonight, but the rewatch took a chunk out of that, let's just say. It's not a good movie. What's up, Israel? Israel, blah.
The Constant has an ace up his sleeve.
He has a constant ace. Alright. Ooh, our plans got laid. Nice.
Look closer. In the shadows. Behind the everyday world. Beyond the headlines and the seats of power. A hidden hand. A kind of...
What's going on, Waylon?
known as Providence.
LeBron's flop this past weekend was absolutely hilarious and pathetic. Yeah, it was. Which, that's par for the course for him. What's funny is the NBA has a no-flopping policy, and I don't think they've gotten him with it once, despite the fact that he obviously violates it. And
after decades in the shadows, we are fighting back.
Bronsexual on X the other day trying to defend that. He's like, oh, what are you, some kind of expert and getting your throat hit? And I'm like, dude, this is common sense. If you get hit in the throat, you literally will start choking and it'll tuck, your chin tucks. If you get hit in the throat, your chin's gonna tuck. You're not gonna flail your head backwards. That's obvious.
Just maybe.
Yeah, the NBA has a policy where it's supposed to be, I think, a technical foul and or a fine.
It's time.
That's, yeah, you're not supposed to flop anymore. It became such a pervasive problem for their viewership that they made a rule against it. And I'm like, well, LeBron clearly doesn't care, so why is he not getting fined? It's so pathetic. He's literally the worst person at it. Charles Barkley called out ESPN pretty hard. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I mean, that was basically his art, which, granted, you saw that. I know you responded to him too, but I'm like, I was like, do I really have to explain this? You've never, like, been hit in the throat with anything or seen anybody get hit in the throat? Your chin tucks. You start coughing. It hurts. IBS Hot Dog Wizard, what's up? Slash Whitey. I love that name. IBS Hot Dog Wizard, it's so good.
That's the status.
Right.
Barkley called out Kendrick Perkins specifically. Kendrick Perkins is retarded, so
And I think I know why.
he should be called out. He was literally trying to say, it's like, you know, I think LeBron might be the best player in the NBA, and I'm like, oh my gosh, shut up. It's like, no, he isn't. It's not close. It's not close. It's Jokic by about 1,000 miles.
We'll keep track of her. Make sure she does.
These are also number 2 in the West, surprisingly. Yeah, they added Luka Doncic. Of course, they're the number 2 seed. Luka Doncic is not graded. I didn't know how well they'd mesh. I really did not know how well they'd mesh. But they are meshing really well. So it's like, yeah, okay, then being number 2 in the West actually makes a lot of sense then. They are a legitimate contender with Luka there. Big surprise, he's motivated.
Is a powerful
And I'm sorry, I more and more think that trade was NBA organized.
and later
I think that theory about Dallas moving to Vegas is looking more and more possible by the day. I mean, you saw that Dallas now is going to raise their ticket prices for next year. I mean, they are... Ownership there is giving their fans a massive middle finger right now. I think the Vegas rumor is looking like it could be very true.
Right.
That 30-20-20 night by Jokic was simply he's insanely great.
With the flick of a pen. Today,
Telling them off for pretty much only covering the Warriors and Lakers. Yeah. I mean, they basically did the dumbest, most nonsensical move in the history of the NBA, and then they're like, oh, and we're going to raise prices too. It's like, something's going on. It's like, something's going on here. This is not normal. Let's see. I don't know how much I need my lockpick for this mission. Fiber wire, I guess, is fine. Hang on just a sec. I have to move my cat. My cat has become obsessed with my gaming. Anytime I'm playing anything, he likes to sit where the TV sits, to the left of it. Usually he is following particle effects, but yeah, he loves sitting there now, and I'm like, ugh, gosh. So, one sec. Okay, he made that easy. If I was a Mavs fan, I would be angry, disappointed. I'd probably pick a new team. I would too. Go root for Houston. Houston seems to be getting run well right now. Has been run so poorly since Silver took over. It has. It has. Silver is a legitimately awful commissioner. There's just no way around it. There's no way around it. He is an awful commissioner. Because he's basically just a massive LeBron shill. Jacob Irons, what's going on, man? How you doing? Come run to OKC, come join your brothers. Oh, you mean Mavs fans? I mean, that wouldn't be a bad team to root for. Although, I'll be honest. I mean, I'm impressed with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
I'm here.
I don't like the way he plays. He's basically just a foul sponge. And he's good at other stuff. I mean, so I'm not trying to rag on his entire game, but he does the James Harden thing where he flops a lot. But he's the best player on the best team, so he's probably going to win MVP, which I'm sorry is ridiculous. They started this new statistic where they try to discern like the actual point total that every player adds to their team. And Jokic leads this category by leaps and bounds. SG is a guy who always violates the free throw line repeatedly. Dallas historically has been the worst Texas team. Yeah. I mean, they've got a championship recently, and that was a good season. They went to the finals last year. That was great. But of course, then they turn around and they trade their best asset for nothing. I mean, I'm sorry. I know Anthony Davis is a great player, but he's in his 30s already, and he's not gonna be one of these guys that lasts into his 40s. He's got maybe 3 years left, 4 years maybe, and he's already hurting out for the year. So yeah, and San Antonio's got a really bright future with the guys they're picking up. Granted, I think
Locked. 47, use your camera and scan the lock, will you?
I think Greg Popovich is pretty overrated, but spy camera. That is one of the cooler additions to this game.
I'm in position.
47, the inauguration is taking place close by.
This is one of the more James Bondy kind of missions in this game.
Understood.
I think the Celtics might repeat, but Daniel says they need to go after a new point guard. They do. I do think the Celtics are going to repeat. I think they're the best team.
We are so close.
I like what Cleveland's done this year. OKC's obviously got a really good chance, but I think that Boston, when they turn it on, they're easily the best team. Who is Popovich without Tim Duncan? Nothing. Exactly. I mean, he's not like Bill Belichick, where you take Tom Brady away and he's really nothing. But Pops has done very little without Tim Duncan. I mean, it's one thing to just not win a title. I mean, it's hard not to win a title without stars, but holy crap. I kind of do. I do think he's one of... I kind of do think he's the most overrated coach ever. I kind of do. Because, and it's not necessarily because he's not a great coach. He is a great coach. You know, historically, he's a great coach. But the fact that he gets propped up as like a top 5 all-time coach, I'm like, I don't think so. I don't see that.
I would like to thank my cousin.
I don't see that. Locked from the other side. Seriously, like I was talking about, this is kind of one of the more James Bond-like missions. Can you imagine getting an actual Bond game from these devs? That would be freaking awesome. People put Pop ahead of Phil Jackson, which is ridiculous. He's not Phil Jackson. He's not Pat Riley. He's not Red Auerbach. Red Auerbach's from a very different era, so I don't know. Maybe he is Red Auerbach, but I see plenty of coaches do more with less.
Now please, be my guests and celebrate. And thank
I need a new Bond game, yeah. Not by Amazon. Seriously, if you didn't grow up in the N64 era, it's just... You can't know how cool it was to play GoldenEye. I mean, GoldenEye was... I mean, and granted, it's one of those things you can kind of never know, because that was during an era where FPS games were very new. They were very new. And GoldenEye didn't age well at all, obviously, because its mechanics and its gameplay style is just really, really different from anything you play now, and not for the better necessarily. Its mechanics have aged, but now Far Cry 5, you can buy, well, not buy, but you can download maps that somebody has created of all... This guy actually created all of the GoldenEye levels on Far Cry 5, which I downloaded them, and I've played several. They're really, really cool. So you can have close to an old school GoldenEye experience. That's awesome. New England is going all in on defense. Why? Who'd they pick up next? I know they picked up one guy, a linebacker from Tennessee. I saw that, but who'd they get? Who else did they grab? I know also they traded that kid Godshaw. They traded him to New Orleans, which he was okay, but they signed 2 Eagles pass, which are really interesting. I know there was that one guy that had a great Super Bowl that there was talk of us going after, which I'm fine with. I mean, we have a ton of cap space, so I like the idea of us. I'm glad we're spending money now. Just need to see who the heck are we going after, though. Time to click. Oh wow, Sam Darnold just signed with the Seahawks for $100 million. Entered free agent with the most salary cap. I'm saying calorie sap. What the crap? Milton Williams, cornerback Carlton Davis III, and Robert Spillane. We signed Williams to 4 years, $104 million. That's a lot. He better be good. Spillane agreed to 3 years, $37.5 million. Okay, cool, cool. 3 years, 24 million with Morgan Moses. All right, I'll have to look into them to see how much I like those moves, but I'm like, that's great. I'm glad we're spending money on some quality talent. Hopefully that translates well. Which, you know, we have Mike Vrabel. You know, he wasn't my top choice, but I like him overall.
Codename Pinky. I got word that he entered the building, but he hasn't reported for duty. Probably still down in the depot, getting his uniform. I just hope he's got his papers with him. I heard rumors that he used to work for that Dawood Rangan. You know, the Bollywood producer who died. Doesn't sound promising.
Hey, that's the guy we offed in the last game.
Nope, it doesn't.
Stuyvesant is expecting
Giants signed a corner from the Saints. Huge need for them. Nice.
We should be able to get within strangling distance of the little worm.
The little worm. Yeah, I saw Josh Allen got the big extension. It's worth like $55 million a year on average, which that's, I mean, he's worth it. Of course you're going to sign him to that. He's arguably the most talented quarterback in the league. Obviously not the best, but talent, yes. Discover Dubai. Exactly. Durka Durka. Durka Durka, Muhammad Jihad, Aloha, Admiral Akbar. DK Metcalf went to the Steelers, and yeah, I saw that Metcalf to the Steelers, and that they're probably going after Rodgers, which I think that's a good move for both of them. I gotta admit, those are good moves for both. I was kind of hoping we'd maybe take a stab at him, but I knew our chances of getting him were low because he wants to win now. So, Hyperbolic Ninja, what's going on, man? I have been dropping by your streams whenever I can to leave likes. It's just, you go kind of late, so I have to kind of pick my spots here and there, but you're killing it, dude. Hyperbolic's getting, he's rolling in them subs here lately, which, that's awesome, man. OJ doesn't have a monopoly on stabbing. Gosh. Why does he get to have all the fun? I mean, he's dead now. Gotta hand those reins over. Okay, we gotta get into that room. Just randomly. 54 in the last 28 days. That's awesome, man. Well done. Well done. Wow, you can't even step within distance of that. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're in. Okay. And we are taking your disguise. I have you now. I'll just put you in here. Look at me, my slick vest. Aren't I cool looking? Not really. I look like a freaking waiter. I look like the help. I'm gonna be honest, I can still easily see Casey when it's... Well, of course. Of course we can. They still have Mahomes, they still have Andy Reid. They still have a fantastic squad. They're absolutely going to be a problem, and it's going to be that way for a little while. So just these teams gotta make sure that they are ready to take on the best. Because as far as I'm concerned, in the AFC, at the very least, they're the team to beat. And Kelsey's coming back. I mean, you could argue that is good or bad for Kansas City, because he's showing his age. He's definitely showing his age. Kelsey's not what... I mean, he's still capable of putting together good games, but you could argue him as a detriment almost as much as you could argue him as a positive. Okay, locate the missing recruit? Okay, where? Beach wear. Lady. Ooh, a key. Keys are good. Oh, look. Weapons. Why can't I pick up all of them? What the heck? I'm security. I should be able to have any gun I want. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Ooh, we could release the winch on him. Every night, too, he has Haley Steinfeld. Well, he's winning in the looks department with her, but she a little woke. She's a little woke. A little woke.
Can't believe she's still there.
So, there's one sense in which he's winning. You could argue there's another sense in which maybe not so much. It's like, Josh, you gotta rein that lady in. You know what I'm saying? She's a bit. I mean, she's Hollywood, so it kind of goes with the territory. I mean, she's not ridiculously outspoken about it, but I mean, she is what she is. She's got a little bit of that to her that I've seen. I couldn't go into like detail about all of it because I don't file away everything these people say, but I've heard her say things before that I'm like, yeah, she's got a little bit of that Hollywooditis to her. Okay, so we got a crowbar now. Crowbars are helpful. That's good.
Been on duty for way too long. I need security that's sharp and focused.
We know he's arrived.
I just dated Hollywood chicks, and gosh, they are weird. Yeah, and he's weird too, so...
That's Marcus Stites, Providence partner, self-entitled and arrogant.
I mean, even a guy like Brady was married to one who was both woke and a cheater. It blows me away that people were actually trying to act like she didn't cheat on it. I'm like, of course she did. She was literally spotted with the guy she's now got a baby with. You're telling, it's like they were hanging out before her and Brady got divorced. You're telling me nothing was going on there. Give me a break. Oh, they just happened to end up together afterwards.
Excuse me. I've talked to one of your people inside the exhibition, but I think she is kind of slow.
Oh my gosh. Do I really want to kill this guy? He just described a woman as slow.
Not as bright as it should be. Do you know why?
Oh, sorry, I'm just backstage muscle. I don't know anything about it.
Okay. That doesn't really surprise
Infiltrate
me.
the stacker. I have. Why do they... Locate the missing recruit. Well, who is it? Why they do this? Infiltrate the staff. It can't be either one of those two. Is it this person? What's up, blue collar? How you doing, man? Welcome, welcome. How you doing, you old pirate? I'm gonna assume cannoli meant something sexual by that. I don't know what, to be honest. It's like, cannoli, what does that mean? I know you're going for an image there, but I don't get it. Mickey 17, Pattinson really acted his butt off. Okay, but how was the movie? Because I've heard nothing but bad things about that movie. I mean, like, people are really crapping on that, and I was like, is it really that bad? Holy crap. I was actually kind of looking forward to that. She's a good receiver. Oh, it's bad? Yeah. Like, I know I saw Drinker, he released a video on it today, I didn't get a chance to watch it, but... Yeah, I heard it's really bad. And I'm like, dang, That's surprising. That guy's usually a pretty reliable director. He's literally the only thing watchable in it. Yeah. He said Mark Ruffalo's character is mocking Trump, and he's supposed to be some Christian preacher as well. Oh gosh. And Drinker, Daredevil, Born Again sucks. I'm hearing mixed. Well, I mean, I listened to both of them. I didn't necessarily mean I'm going to agree with them, but I mean, I don't know if I'm going to agree or not. I still have to watch Daredevil, so we'll see, I guess. But
Look, he's just gonna make... Hey, you. I have a problem. I'm supposed to meet up for duty, but they can't find my...
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Who the hell are you?
oh, wait, was I not supposed to pick those up? Ah, it's the new recruit. Okay, okay. Whoops. Mahler is always the guy I consistently agree with. Me and him feel the same way about Born Again. Born Again are fair. I'm 50-50. I enjoy parts of episode 1 and 2, but it has issues. I think it's a fair assessment. Mahler said it's pretty dog crap. Yeah. Yeah, and I would say generally he's somebody I agree with a lot too. Mrs. Sparkles, how you doing? Good to see ya. Okay, poo. I gotta redo this particular part because this is the recruit. You are like one of my new favorite voices. I really like your voice. Aw, thank you. I appreciate that. I like this guy's voice. Expected to be. Can you believe it? Speaking of voices, I was listening to, and I told Cannoli and Vex and Whitey about this today, so I was listening to this video today. I was talking about various games that are coming out. Various games that are coming out this year.
But this is awful. I mean, I'm in my
and he said he brought up the game Hell Is Us, and I was on the treadmill while I was listening to this. It sounded so much like he said Hell Is Arse. It sounded like it's like he said instead of Hell Is Us, it sounded like he said Hell Is Ass, and I was like, what? And it threw me off so much that I like stumbled off the treadmill, like literally got like caught. Like, I got my foot caught in the belt, and I was like, what the heck?
This is busted.
It's not really even that funny. It caught me off guard so much that, I just ended up laughing really, really hard and almost breaking my leg. I don't fully disagree with Mahler, but Cox and D'Onofrio are acting good. They know the characters. About Mahler, my gut is usually right. Also, Rags and him are annoying. I mean, I don't find them annoying. I think they're really good at assessing media, personally. I mean, I don't always agree with them, but I break down media kind of similar to the way they do. I like the fact that they're willing to have conversations with people that of kind of every walk of life. I think that's very fair. But yeah, I actually really love listening to their show. I really enjoy listening to them. I'm a fan of EFAP. I find it very interesting and very entertaining. I only joined for my friend Short Fat Otaku. I've been disagreeing a lot. Yeah, I'm not a fan of his, to be honest. I actually am not a big fan of him at all. He's someone I have issues with.
Reporting for duty.
About time. Our client has been going out of his mind waiting for you. Do you have the papers?
Yes.
Good.
It truly is the best Disney Plus show. It's a low bar, but the show, you can tell, went through a lot of rewrites, yeah. I don't think The Northman was very good, and recommend the crap out of that. I mean, I liked the Northman personally. I thought it was pretty dang good. The funny is, I haven't heard them bring up the Northman very much at all, though.
Sir,
oddly
this
enough.
is security. Just calling to let you know your new guards.
That's what we haven't been talking much lately because of his takes. Gotcha.
See you soon.
I just bought the old Daredevil. It's so good. Yeah, I need to watch it. It's kind of an abomination at this point that I haven't seen it.
He'll be here shortly.
What on earth? The Northman was awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I quite like the Northman.
Planning to buy? That's a goal. Trade. If you threw
I mean, like, part of the reason I think I gravitate towards EFAP is because we have very similar standards. Writing is kind of the top priority to them and to me. And similar to them, I generally don't care much about, like, when it comes to, like, adaptation, whether it's historical or based on source material. I often will separate that from whether or not the movie is actually good. Like, I don't need a movie to be historically accurate, and I don't need it to necessarily be all that accurate to the source material. I mean, I like the idea of keeping... Of course, I want the spirit of the character that's being adapted to fit what's on screen, at least for the most part. Or at least to an extent to where it's not spitting on the previous creation. Though, truth be told, you can even do that and make something good. I mean, because the Shining movie kind of spit on Stephen King's book, and it's actually way better. So, even that's not always true, but at the end of the day, though, when a movie's a movie, and if it's good, it's good. If it says it's historically accurate, okay, yes, that I agree with. That I completely agree with. If a movie presents itself as historically accurate, then yes, I do agree with that. Like, and I've brought this up on this stream before. The movie, what's it called? The Last Duel, the Ridley Scott film. I liked that all the way up until the last third, when it kind of explicitly stated that the last third was the truth of that story, because that is a true story. But that movie explicitly states that the last third of it is the true part of that story, which, you know, makes all the men look bad and looks the woman look heroic and all this stuff. It's a load of crap. I looked that story up after seeing the movie because I was like, really, this is the truth of this story? That's very it's a very modern sentiment you can obviously get from it. I have a hard time believing that's true. And sure enough, it isn't true. It's complete bullcrap. And it kind of wrecked the overall film for me. I was kind of pissed, because I was enjoying it up to that point. The Woman King was... Yeah, and they've done a lot of... And here's the thing. The Woman King crosses several lines. You know, The Woman King is kind of like Birth of the Nation in a lot of senses. It basically turns villains into heroes, which is pretty freaking messed up. So that one actually is crossing a few lines.
Look at that! Not bad at all.
Yeah. Oh shoot.
That was quite spectacular.
Yeah.
That was a magnificent performance. I like you. I think we'll get along just fine. Oh.
Gain his trust.
Did I just hear
What to
something?
do with all that power?
Why is that happening?
So the Last Duel didn't... Would you say it was Scott's last good movie? If it hadn't done that, like I said, I was enjoying the first 2/3 of that movie. But that last third really rubbed me the wrong way, because it was just outright false, and it went from being a good movie to heavy messaging, and the last third kind of wrecks that movie. I mean, up to that point it's good, but... Oh, shoot. Wow, that guy turned around. You're not supposed to turn around, dang it! Okay, well, we saved right before, so it's fine. But, yeah, I don't think I'll ever watch The Last Duel again unless I'm deciding to make a video about it, but... Yeah, that last third was kind of infuriating. I can't wait to watch Cleaner with Rey Skywalker. It's, excuse me, her name in that movie is Rey Skyscraper? Get it right? And that movie is really terrible. I wish I could say it's so bad it's good. And it did lead to, like, me and Vex were talking about it because she watched it last night. We're both talking about making videos for it. It's horrendous.
Nice throw. Look at that. Not bad at all.
Oops. Dang it. And you're excited for G20? Of course, obviously.
I think we will get along just fine. Okay, I think I got the right man now. What to do? Thank you for...
Is it a boss girl type of film? Very much. Very much.
It was an honor.
The style of women in The Woman King bothered me so much. The women didn't
You impressed me.
at all, and they went with the Japanese feel. Yeah.
Some things you should know about me, and this is very much unaimed.
Hey!
You got him, 47. Marcus Stuyvesant won't be a problem anymore. Let's move on to Carl Ingram. We're not done yet.
We got him. Yay. He's dead. Oh, I don't have a gun. Oh well. A little bit of a hiccups there. Alright. Bird of prey. The bird of prey. Yeah. Knock her up by the kid of Solo, and then she could have said she was a Solo. Did you push someone off and I missed it? I did push him off. He gone now. I feel like G20 is going to say, hold my beer to the cleaner. I don't know. It might be more... I mean, it's possible it'll be heavier on messaging. The cleaner was. I have a hard time believing anything in 2025 is going to be a worse movie, though. I really... Cleaner was that bad. Like, I rarely give a movie a 1 out of 10. Cleaner's a 1. And part of what makes Cleaner especially bad is... It is a very low-effort movie. Like, is it as horrendously written as some of, like, the worst things I've seen out there? No. But it's kind of worse in a way because there's just no effort behind it. It's like if you had a kid... If you had one kid who drew something really badly, and then you had another kid who just handed you a blank sheet of paper. The blank sheet of paper might not be worse art, but you're giving them an F. It's that kind of movie. Like, Cleaner is aggressively bad in its lack of effort. I mean, for crying out loud, Daisy Ridley goes outside the building at minute 12, and she does not re-enter the building until there's 19 minutes left in the runtime. It's ridiculous. She's just hanging out there for the vast majority of the movie. It's unbelievably bad. She even has an opportunity to end the terrorist threat. She literally has a gun pointed at the main killer and just doesn't do anything. Just doesn't do anything. I'm like, shoot him, please? Go ahead and kill him? But does Daisy manage to close her mouth? Not really. She actually... They just have her up there swearing a lot for the most part. Like, they try to sound edgy because, ooh, she's using profanity, yeah. I'm like, who freaking cares? Describes yourself, or describes, my gosh, where's my English?
Oh my god,
What is your problem? You are thick. You are thickety thick. I mean, maybe we can just lure him over here. Yeah. What was that noise? Is he the vulture? I mean, we're gonna kill him, so I guess. Okay, so he is the Vulture, so I thought I had to kill this guy. Whoops. Oh, I am dressed as him now, so there you go. And I got a silencer, so that's cool. Daisy, I don't see her being an action hero. No, she can't act. I know some people try to give her a little bit of a pass. So like, I like her as an action. I'm like, what do you like about her?
You're trespassing, please.
I'm like, what? I honestly don't think she's a good actress. She's very bland. Okay, so gotta drop that. Obviously, gotta drop that. I think that can't carry a kitchen knife apparently. It's meant for CWTV. Yeah, she kind of is that. She's kind of that level of acting, if not worse. She's a nepo. Is she a nepo baby at all, or related to... I don't think she does. I'm not aware of her being related to anybody of note. I could be wrong. Something worth checking out, I guess, but I don't know her to be related to anyone. I think it's just...
Can be a dangerous trait.
But she doesn't have a bad look, I guess. I mean, she's not ugly or anything. I mean, she's not, like, hot. But
set up for you.
Her screen presence is very meh, and her acting is just nothing. It's just kind of nothing. I mean, I've seen worse actors, but the director of the claimed James Bond, I know he did 2 of the best Bonds. He did GoldenEye and Casino Royale. Of course, he also did Green Lantern, and he's done a couple of like really bad movies too. So it's just I think the way Niat, the way he put it on in his video, which I'd highly recommend. Granted, he doesn't need my help. He's got 1 million subscribers for crying out loud. But but I like Niat, and he was kind enough to put me on his channel recently. But Niat kind of put it right. It's like you're kind of getting one version or another of him. So it's just basically a question of which one. And in that case, she's related to someone famous. Interesting. Just another brunette British woman they tried to force into being a star. See, you should have put force in quotations and capitalized because it's Star Wars. Then it's a pun. Daisy Ridley is a 5 or 6 out of 10. Yeah. I mean, she's not ugly. She's fine. She's related to English actor Arnold Ridley, who played Private Godfrey in the British sitcom Dad's Army. Arnold Ridley was also a playwright who wrote The Ghost Train. Okay, interesting. I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to call that being a nepo baby, because I mean, I don't think that person seems particularly well known, but at the very least it explains her connections. But I guess, well, I mean, it's Disney's, like, you think about it, probably her most noteworthy role before Star Wars is she was known for playing a corpse.
Straight to the point.
So that's,
Well, let's call it a
maybe that makes sense as to why Disney was like, they saw her playing a corpse on a slab, and they were like, there we go, there's our hero.
So I'm a little hesitant.
It's a connection, but not enough. Yeah, that's kind of what I get from it. It doesn't seem to me that she's related to somebody with like power, but she obviously, that's her inroad, is to get in that way. Hey, no problem, Hyperbolic. Have a good one, man.
Keep talking.
Henry Fonda was a great actor. His daughter, not so much. I mean, Bridget's not bad. She's good in movies. Like, I think she's great in Jackie Brown. Unless you're talking about Jane, in which case, I mean, that's a different story.
It's what I do best.
I like your bluntness.
I silence little pains.
Hans looked. Pulitzer-winning freelance journalist.
I don't know if I can think of a movie I've seen with Jane Fonda other than that 80 for Brady movie.
And that can't.
Which, I mean, that movie doesn't exist for its acting.
And remember, I want to pick
Bridget is Peter Fonda. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Well, there you go.
Of course.
Once
Once this little assignment
Gotcha,
is
Jane
completed,
Fonda.
come back and talk to Miss Toe.
Hanoi Jane.
Discuss the real cancer that needs to be removed. I'm sure you can see yourself out.
Locate Hans Lucht.
And brass-balled billionaire. A legendary political fixer, Ingram is old money and as
And her grandfather also worked for the BBC. Ah. The Big Black... Oh, wait a minute, that's not what it stands for.
But you're not getting through.
Sorry, anytime I see BBC, I think of Cards Against Humanity. We can climb these vines. Which probably is not something we're supposed to do. Exactly, exactly, Whitey. I guess she has grace. Sorry. I believe you have grace, Senator. I'm being engaged in combat. What the heck? I walked away from the trespass. Man, these Middle Eastern countries don't mess around. At 2015 to 2020 era, they tried to make a lot of random British brunettes into stars. I guess she has disease? Oh.
How are you, sir?
Like AIDS? Does she have AIDS? Lupus? Is it lupus? Yeah, I find her very uninteresting as a performer. Graves' disease. Ah. Your mom has AIDS. Oh my gosh. I've got cornflakes disease. Oh, there's just a random poison jar just hanging out there. Cool. I love finding poison. It's never lupus. It really has some sort of disease which gives a victim's horse face. Oh no. I have located Hans Lucht. I love House. A little disappointed how it ended. I haven't seen a ton of House, but what I saw I liked. Where is Hans? Oh, hello, Hans. Drop Dead Fred Peak. I enjoy the heck out of Drop Dead Fred, dumb as it is. I rewatched it a few months ago and I was like, it still makes me laugh. Rick Mayhill was I think an underrated comedian. He's pretty funny. It's sad when you can tell a show is running out of money, so they just rush an ending. As a little girl, I loved that movie. Yeah, Drop Dead Fred is... Like, it's a weird movie because it's one of those, you know, old school... like PG-13 movies that you're like, wait a minute, is this supposed to be for kids? Because of it's about a kid with an imaginary friend and it's really crude, and I'm like, no, it's not for kids. I'm pretty sure it's a PG-13 movie. It's like, it wasn't for kids. It's ornery, but gosh, it's funny. Probably watched it too young, but LOL Cobwebs just took me years to understand. Wow. Cobweb. That's great. And that's actually a really difficult like DVD to find. It's Drop Dead Fred. I don't remember the movie. I'll sure watch it. I remember because we watched it like all the time growing up. Me, my sister, especially. We watched that movie constantly. It says, locate Hans Lucht. We're in the area. So, okay, where the heck is he? Hans! Hello, Hans! Where are you, Hans? Hans up, don't shoot. Wait, that's not what I meant. Are you Hans? Are you Hans? You both look like you could be Hans. I have a horrible memory. That's okay. It's okay. Where the bloody hell is Hans? Hans! Is he in the toilet? Oh. There's a lady in here. This makes sense. This definitely looks more like a women's bathroom. It's very nice. But what's this? Hi. Why are you in here? There's women in this bathroom. If he was up here... Hang on, wait. I have to turn off the chat filter on my phone. It's up your butt, you would know it. Yeah. Rewatch Snatch. Yeah, that is a good movie. Snatch is a good movie. I like Snatch. Somebody's gonna clip that. I like Snatch. Which that was Brad Pitt with the bad accent. Oh, I think it's hilarious. I love it. It's not my favorite Guy Ritchie movie, but I enjoy the heck out of that movie. I wonder if we could shoot that balloon out there. A black homosexual political commentator, Rob Smith, says Derek Chauvin can't be pardoned because blacks would try to destroy America out of anger. Like a kid's dad liked it too. I never got it. Like the first time I watched Snatch, I was a bit uncertain as to how I felt about it. The rewatch helped a ton. Like I've now watched it like 4 times. I'm like, yeah, I do really like this. Pikeys are purposely hard to understand. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Fight Club. Yeah, Fight Club's awesome. Name my youngest Tyler. Nice. Yeah, Fight Club's awesome. Fight Club is it's one of those movies that has a very high floor. There's so many scenes in Fight Club that are memorable. It's kind of remarkable how consistently good that movie stays from beginning to end. There's very few like lulls. I'd say really, really like I think people like they'll talk about the discourse around it is like the themes and you know, the whole big twist at the end. Which I thought the twist, I mean, personally, the funny thing for me is I always thought the twist was kind of obvious. I never thought the twist was all that shocking. But it didn't matter. It really didn't matter to me because I was just like, I don't think the movie relies on its twist to be great. It's a movie that has so many good scenes. Think back. No, yeah, Fight Club did quite poorly if I remember correctly. I like putting mustard on my body and running around with chickens. Dang, autocorrect. I want to read the book, yeah. I've heard some people say the book's not as good. I think the author's an interesting guy. Oh yeah, and as to your point, Israel bringing up that dude who was talking about Derek Chauvin, I'm like, I get that as a political maneuver, there's risks to it. But to me, it's like, is it the right thing to do or is it not? Because to me, it's like the evidence of that case, it's so obvious that there's reasonable doubt in the Derek Chauvin case that I don't know how you argue against that. I really don't know how. I mean, it's like right is right. So, you know, granted, you could argue that, well, there's an appeals process going on right now. So you could argue that, you know, Trump waiting for that makes perfect sense. And I'm like, okay, sure. You know, it's possible he'll win an appeal. I doubt it. It's Minnesota. But if he loses it, then I'm like, my hope is that Trump would at least consider stepping in on that. But I'm like, look, if you believe the guy if there was reasonable doubt in that case, which to me it's very obvious there was, it's like, then of course he should be pardoned. The evidence against him was paltry. It was one video that a bunch of people saw. That was the evidence against him. And then when you saw it, I mean, look, I saw the video too, and when I initially saw it, I thought it looked bad. But then once you start to see all the evidence, including the angle which shows that his knee wasn't on his neck, I'm like, I don't know what we're arguing about at this point. I think this just becomes a case where people want blood just for the sake of it. Somebody has to be blamed. And I'm like, if you want to blame somebody, blame the guy who took all the fentanyl. My gosh. People also cheered and laughed when OJ got acquitted. Well, that was very clearly... it might be a little dangerous to pardon him. Sure. I get that that's something that, of course, like, really radical people will jump on. And you could make an argument that, you know, you shouldn't risk riots on account of that. But I'm like, there's ways to prepare for it. There is ways to prepare for it. And again, it's like, this is a person's life who was ruined by... was ruined by bad evidence. So I think I'm like, this kind of sucks. I mean, it kind of sucks. We allow that.
Hey there. Oh.
We allow that to happen, and it's like there's really no repercussions for anybody who falsely accused him. Like, it's like, again, look, when I first saw the video, I was leaning towards, like, yeah, he looks guilty to me, but then once I saw the evidence, I'm like, I don't know how you come away with this without reasonable doubt. It's kind of obvious he's not guilty. It's kind of obvious, because all the arguments they made against him, it's like, nope, that didn't check out, nope, that didn't check out. It's like, holy crap. Okay, I'm mulling around talking, and... Is this guy Hans looped or not? Hang on, I'm just gonna take the easy road out and look him up. Go up. Negative, you know they're waiting to fund it. Yeah. Okay, so he's a journalist. He's in purple. Okay, so he's not this guy I've been kind of following around. I don't even know the jury got death threats. Yeah, which should have thrown the trial out right there. I mean, it's like, and it's so clear that politically, like from the judge to, I mean, like really everybody involved, they were pushing hard to ensure that he got locked up for it. It was really bad. I mean, they wouldn't even sequester the jury. It's unbelievable, the conduct. I think you could argue that the case should be dismissed solely on the bounds that they didn't sequester the jury. It was not a fair... It wasn't even a fair trial. Wow, look at this. This looks like a dude who definitely wants to spend time in bathrooms of the opposite gender. Look at this guy. This is a guy who desperately wants to read Cat in the Hat to a bunch of kids at a library. Look at this guy. I mean, come on. I need you to leave. And you... Wow, you're still in the bathroom, lady. Okay, your face is properly powdered. Bloody hell. I'm glad I can entertain. Okay.
Wait for me here. I'll be back as soon as possible.
All right. Whatever it is, better be good. Hey, man.
Okay, well, I didn't want him to see me, but okay. Alright, let's take a picture. That's quite a pose he's striking there.
Yes, that's it. Now Ingram trusts you. It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
It's like shooting barrels filled with fish. please subscribe and patron. New pictures of The Last of Us 2 came out. Bella Ramsey has a creepy face. Oh, for season 2? I haven't watched the show. I've heard some people defend the first season saying it's well written. It may be. I know some people hate it. I know Vex said she hated it. Not interested in it personally, because I'm like, regardless of how good the first season is, it's kind of hard to believe the show's not going to fall completely off of a cliff.
Mr. Kazim, welcome back.
Given the material it's based on, so I'm like, what's the point? It would follow another dude into a bathroom stall.
Yes, here.
Good. Our guest will be delighted.
Bella Ramsey, why is she a thing? Because she did a good job in a small role on Game of Thrones. She did do a good job on that. I mean, it was, granted, in hindsight, it's kind of a weird role. It's not completely unheard of, I guess, and they did kind of ruin it ultimately because it was really goofy by the end, but so was everything else in Game of Thrones. That's not her fault.
Haven't seen the view yet. It's quite spectacular.
That show with Whoopi Goldberg? That show's terrible, lady. What are you talking about? He sounds like my two favorite YouTubers. I got yelled at by my favorite this week and felt a little bad, but I'm going to ignore it. Your favorite tuber of the U yelled at you? What the heck? Oh my gosh. I never got into The Last of Us. By the time the game came out, I was kind of done with the zombies thing. I mean, I liked the first Last of Us game a lot. Bit of an overrated game, but really good all the same. I've played it a few times. It's a good game. I like it. I even bought the remake. Because kind of the good thing about the first one is you can play it and just ignore the fact that there's a part 2. And it stands on its own really well. The only way, though, I will play the second one is if I am gifted the game, whether on PS Plus or some fan super chats and says, I want you to play The Last of Us 2, here's the money to buy it. I'd be like, okay, fine. But that's literally about it. He's a dude following a dude, acting like a dude who would do another dude. Nadia! What's going on? By the way, I will be hanging on Nadia's channel this Saturday. We're going to be going over basically her favorite horror movies, which I have been catching up on the ones I haven't seen. I was kind of lecturing him not eating too much tuna. He is wrong in eating too much, but fine. I hope he doesn't get sick. Yeah, doesn't tuna have, like, mercury in it?
So good to see you. You have the picture?
Yeah, well, no, your assistant has it, but...
Yes. Your problem is fixed.
Omar said you were good.
Yeah, I've always heard tuna has a lot of mercury, so you have to be careful about how much you eat.
Okay, people, clear the room. I need to discuss some delicate business with Mr. Kazim. Now wait, excuse me for a second.
Look at me right here. Do I look like my last name is Kazim? All large ocean predators have mercury in them. Yeah. You should eat it only once a month, and he's eating it now twice. Dang. Twice a week. My gosh. He was doing it 4 days out of the week. My goodness.
My man here will stay for the meeting. I assume that will not be a problem. Either way, you have no choice in the matter.
Invited to any more shows since Sammy's? Oh.
It's interesting.
I mean, granted, I don't know. I mean,
each other before, Mr. Kazim.
As far as...
Well, maybe not.
As far as Sammy's show goes...
Talk to people like you.
I can imagine.
I don't know how much...
Oh, my voice sounded really disconnected too from the room there for a sec.
But my
I
guess
guess I'm just a back.
Let me get straight to the point. My organization has been hit by an unpleasant cancer.
Do you have a YouTube channel, or do you just are you someone that just comes in as a guest here and there?
Yes, I do.
Good. This little turd is spreading his vile toxic
He called somebody a turd.
I want him stopped. Brutally. Chemo won't remove him.
Oh my
Only the
gosh.
knife. I have his file here.
I want to do my own streams.
Arthur Edwards. A sly little devil, if there ever was one. Me and my associates, well, made it the little...
Well, I look forward to seeing what you got streams-wise. Waiting for my taxes to buy a laptop. Nice.
I doubt that. But I want you to make him suffer.
Oh my goodness.
This is not a horse that needs to be put out of its misery. This is a rabid dog that needs to be put down. Am I making myself clear, Mr. Kazim?
Yes. Consider it done.
Good. We're now in business.
We are.
I'll have Miss Toe send you anything you need.
Miss Toe? Someone do it with me, I think, and be bored with me by myself.
You're nicknamed the Vulture. Why?
I find it's best to wait for the perfect kill.
I think you'll be perfect for the job. Nice to meet you, Mr. Kazim. I look forward to receiving an update. Safe hunting.
Guard. Yes, Mr. Ingram?
Please show Mr. Kazim out.
Yes, sir. Mr. Kazim, please follow me.
Please, give me a little space.
Hang on just a sec. This was supposed to be where I could kill him, I would assume. So we're going to reload from here. I'm going to poison his beverage. Well, what I think his beverage is. I'm guessing he's the whiskey guy. But I can probably double up on the poison, because I think I have lethal and I have bellyache poison.
I apologize about the incident earlier downstairs, but you have to understand.
Are you Mrs. Toe? That's quite a name. Are there like 9 more of you? Essence of Taco Bell poisoning. Exactly. Exactly. The best kind. Got the little cleaning lady here. Come on, Toe. Go faster. Gosh. More like Mrs. Slow. Don't lie to her. That name sucks. I don't know, it depends on which Toe she is. I mean, if she's like Miss Piggy Toe, then it's like, okay, maybe not as good, but I bet she gets all the perverts asking for a pic. Actually, the best thing about her name is, like, you can kind of just, it's like, hey, you have any foot pics? And you're like, you mean like my foot? How do we get this guy out of here?
You are pushing your luck.
Or feet pics. Oh, wow, really? What the heck?
Are you stupid or something? You answer when I talk to you.
Yes. Your problem is fixed.
Fixed like a dog.
Let's get down to the important business at hand. Okay, people, clear the room. I need to discuss some delicate business with Mr. Kazim.
Perfect. We have Ingram right where we want him.
Excuse me for a second.
Okay, so...
47, you know what to do.
Okay, good. Okay, technically, I can kill him this way. So we're going to create a quick save here, just for funsies, and... They're like, what did you do? That's a fun way to kill. Just slam his head down on there. It's like, oh my gosh. That was merciless. 47, you monster. I got some crazy messages that I have, all of them over the years, debating on doing a part in my show saying, what is this weirdo DM? Dang.
Oh, that's right.
I rarely get particularly objectionable DMs from people. Granted, I don't get a lot of them, but other than from, like, you know, friends I know and whatnot, but... Never had anything particularly nasty or anything.
Come across each other before, Mr. Kazim. Well, maybe not. I usually have my people talk to people like you.
I can imagine.
I don't know how much Omar...
First name is actually Camille. Camille Toad.
My guess is very little, so let me get
Oh, I get stem pick requests.
has been hit by an unpleasant cancer.
Yeah, like, ooh, yeah, send me a pic of all them seeds.
Out of the gut, if you get my drift.
Yes.
Nailed it for saying no to filming myself. Wow. And saying, wow, my goodness.
Brutally. Chemo won't remove him. Only the knife.
Oh my gosh.
I have his file here. A sly little devil, if there ever was one. Me and my associates, well,
I actually think Hitman could make like a really cool TV series.
Want revenge.
I think you and I share a common interest.
I doubt that. But I want you to make him suffer. This is not a horse that needs to be put out of its misery.
That's the Last of Us show, or what they copy and pasted from the game. They made changes that made no sense, such as the gay episode for award seasons. Offered $15.
Consider it done.
Let's sort because so many offer them out. I thought they did have a show.
We are.
Hitman they've made a couple of attempts at making a movie of this, but they've never done it anywhere close to right.
The Vulture. Why?
I find it's best to wait for the perfect kill.
I think you'll be perfect for the job. Nice to meet you, Mr. Kazim.
Would it be better than the Fallout show? I hope so. I mean, I got some superficial enjoyment out of the Fallout show, but it's not well made. Like, honestly, the only good thing about the Hitman movie is how hot Olga Kurylenko looks. I liked the idea of Timothy Oliphant playing 47 because I like Timothy Oliphant, but he wasn't given a good script. Novocaine earned the R rating. I would say wait for streaming the film. Silly fun. I wouldn't tell anyone to rush out and see it. Yeah, gotcha. It makes sense. Okay, so poisoning his beverage did diddly. I still haven't seen Fallout. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those shows where it's like I said, I was having a decent time with it, but once you even begin to start thinking about the way it's plotted, you're like, this one's got some problems. It's not a very well crafted story, like, at all. Wait, am I supposed to go with you? Oh, okay. But what about him?
Mr. Kazem?
Hang on.
I don't care what tempo.
Oh. Okay, no problem, Miss Sparkles. Appreciate you hanging out. Have a good one.
And in love. It's on.
Okay, so we actually should be hanging there. Also, Splinter Cell. I'm not looking forward to the Splinter Cell remake. I would love it if it was good, but I don't think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be poopy. I did buy some of the Splinter Cell games on Steam recently. I don't know if y'all know this. It's so weird. All the Splinter Cell games, as far as I know, are on Steam, except for Pandora Tomorrow. I don't get that. That's really strange. So this guy is immune to iocane powder? No, he didn't even drink out of that glass. I picked the wrong glass. But now that I know where he drinks... Exactly. They cannot be trusted. Do not trust them. Alright, now we follow her. Well, sorry, lady. Oh, is she leaving? What the heck? Because we were walking this way. Splinter Cell co-op was effing awesome. I wish they would have kept adding to it. Really? Yeah, like I said, I've never really played Splinter Cell. I bought the games very recently, like last week, because they were on sale. I got like 5 of them for like $10. So I was like, cool, cool, cool. Isn't his room up here? Oh. Oops, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. Oh my gosh. Bloody racist. Verhoeven or McTiernan? I would say McTiernan slightly. It's at least as far as his I prefer his top tier movies over Verhoeven's, but Verhoeven's probably a better filmmaker overall, though, because he didn't have, as far as I know, he doesn't have nearly as big a drop off with some of his other stuff.
Back in China, this would never be possible.
Back in China?
All the smog.
Oh, shots fired! Shots fired against China. Oh my gosh. I also am going to buy Elden Ring Night Rain Day 1 just for the 3-player co-op. I'm still iffy on Night Rain. I mean, it looks pretty cool, but there's part of me that's worried that this is going to be a game that should have just been DLC. So, we'll see.
So good to see you.
Okay, so, hang on.
You have the picture?
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and create a save there. We're going to head down real quick. We're going to poison his beverage. We should get some boys together and play World at War Zombies.
I'm sorry, but Mr.
I actually don't have World at War. I need to get that on Steam. World at War was one of the COD games I quite liked. I mean, I never really got into the zombie mode stuff, but... Failed? What the heck? Okay, well, at least I created the save file. Alright, so I guess I need to do this on the way down, so we'll just load up this save from a bit ago. I'll try to beat him to the punch, I guess. I suppose. Of course, I could just shoot these retards.
My man here will stay for the meeting. I assume that.
Your man, huh? Good.
Either way, you have no choice in the matter.
I know one thing, though, I'm trying to save up for. I actually want to upgrade my DaVinci Resolve to the studio version.
Well,
it's like $300, but which, you know, that's about how much all these major editing suites are. But I would like to. I like DaVinci Resolve enough to where it's like, okay, I'm committed to using it now because it's really, really good. But I would very much like to get the studio version. So yeah, anytime I get like super chats or whatever, I just consider that like part of the investment or whatever. But yeah, that is my hope, to be able to buy the studio version at some point, because I like DaVinci and I want to upgrade my presentation quality. Representative Jasmine Crockett claims it's not a... Yeah, I saw that. What a tard. She's like they're kind of trying... It's funny they're propping her up as like the next AOC, and I'm like, aw, you all say that like it's a good thing. She's arguably even more unhinged.
I think you and
Like, she's really crazy. It's kind of embarrassing that she's a politician. I'm like, gosh, guys.
This is not a home. It needs to be put out of its misery. This is a rabid dog.
Like, she's really terrible.
Am I making myself clear?
I bought Lords of the Fallen on sale for $20. Gonna stream some co-op tonight. It's actually a fun game. Just got ignored because of Elden Ring. I recommend it. I saw some gameplay for it. I'm gonna wait that one out and see if I ever get it for free. Because I don't know. I just... What I saw, I was just like, it doesn't look like it would appeal that much to me, but I could be wrong. I know the original one I thought was absolute crap, but the new one definitely looks better than that. But if it's ever like a $5 game, or, you know, like I said, if it's free, then obviously I'll play it then, but it's not even a game I would pay $20 for personally, just based on what I saw. I mean, you could be, I mean, I'm not dismissing your claim, you could very much be right. But, I don't know, what I watched of it, I was like, it doesn't look super appealing to me.
You need to listen to me. Follow me and don't get sidetracked.
Someone's getting sidetracked, y'all, because I'm going down. Wait a minute, where the... Hey, you won't get hurt. Okay, there we go. Back on track. Da, 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 da. Time to... Oh, I guess we gotta kill him.
But Mr. Ingram, who is the Royal Highness's guest, has one.
Okay.
Okay, well, crap. Son of a nutcracker. Once you summon your friend, they never leave the game in cutscenes and bosses. The combat is just Elden Ring. Hang on. Shoot. Gosh darn it. The combat is just Elden Ring, but fun graphics, you can tell. For Night Rain, they focus more on co-op. I mean, they did, yeah. I mean, it's... Night Rain looks like it could be a lot of fun. I know I've watched a little bit of... Vadi Vidya did... he did a vid on the gameplay because he got to play it for several hours. Now, granted, like, the thing with Vadi's stuff is, on the one hand, Vadi clearly is paid money by FromSoft because he's probably got earlier access to their stuff than pretty much anybody, and his whole channel is devoted to their lore and stuff like that. So on the one hand, like I said, it's like you could argue paid chill in a sense, but for one thing, he makes really fantastic videos, so it's hard to get mad at him. But at the same time, it's like you expect him to like everything. It's like if they ever make a game that's not good, are you really gonna see him call it bad? Now, granted, I don't think Night Rain really can be bad because it's, you know, it's Elden Ring gameplay, so it's like, okay, it's Elden Ring. Elden Ring's a good game, but is it going to be a game that's actually worth the money, or is it going to feel like it should have just been DLC? That's kind of what I'm not really worried about the game being bad so much as just, is it going to be worth $40? I think that's really what I'm waiting on. Or 60, or what? How much is that game? Is it 40 or 60?
Share a common interest.
I doubt that.
I can't remember. I got to read some Keats poetry tonight. Oh, for class? Cool, cool. Multiple WNBA players are considering a strike over pay to spend. Yeah, I saw those claims that they made, and I'm like, please do. It's like, go ahead, WNBA, sit out. You'll basically, it's like, you may actually tank your league, which would be hilarious.
We'll send you anything you need. We're done here.
I mean, how? That is so them.
One last question. I'm just curious.
And it's like, ladies, the only reason you got any increase in viewership is because of Caitlin Clark, and you still, like, we should be getting paid like the NBA players. And I'm like, okay, look at the guy who has the highest salary in the NBA. Your league doesn't generate that much revenue as his one contract.
To receiving an update. Safe hunting.
You literally can't exist on your own.
Please show Mr. Kazim out.
It's like you all literally cannot exist without the NBA. It's pathetic. Kinda hilarious, though. But yes, please, by all means, do what you're thinking. Please do it. Tank your league. It would be hilarious. What the heck? So just by disengaging, I'm basically screwed. That's kind of BS. Oh, I get the save there, so that's good at least. Gosh. My gosh.
One last question. I'm just curious. You're nicknamed the Vulture. Why?
I find it's best to wait for the perfect kill.
I think you'll be.
But vultures are like scavengers. Does that really make any sense?
Safe hunting. Guard.
Yes, Mr. Ingram?
Please show Mr. Kazim out.
Yes, sir. Mr. Kazem, please follow me.
Is it Kazem or Kazim? Y'all gotta make up your minds.
Mr. Kazem, you need to listen to me.
Invader
Follow me
Kazem.
and don't get sidetracked. I think when we hit the stairs is whereabouts I'm gonna try to disengage from them. Mr. Kazem, you need to listen to me. Follow me and don't get sidetracked.
Okay, let's go. Let's go, you big fruit. Come on.
Mr. Kazem, you need to listen to me.
Oh, for heaven's sake, dude. I got sidetracked. Ah. I don't even care. I'm just staying in the room.
Guest has requested no noise of any kind.
Okay, but it means I'll work slower.
Tim Walz also admitted something funny, that he never thought he and Kamala Harris were ahead of Trump
slow. And I'll probably get a warning about that.
during the 2024 run, saying we were in a prevent defense to not lose. Well, that's weird, because that would actually, that's kind of a weird statement, because, I mean, gosh, this guy was like a football coach. How does he not understand that his metaphor is messed up there? It's like, you were in prevent defense to not lose. That actually literally does suggest you thought you were ahead. If you're in prevent defense, that means you're ahead. What a retard. Okay, so I literally, if I'm gonna do it this way... this is stupid. I literally have to follow this guy the whole way. Yeah, Tim Walz is an idiot. It's like, dude, you were a football coach. You don't understand your own sport. Tim Walz is yes. Favorite Guy Ritchie movie? I would say...
You need to listen to me. Follow me and don't get sidetracked.
Let's see, Guy Ritchie movie...
Follow me.
The Gentleman. The Gentleman's my favorite. Oh, did your accent change? You need to listen to me. Follow me. Keep your distance. It's like his accent literally changed there. You're a phony. You're a big piece of phony baloney.
Mr. Kazem, you need to listen to me. Follow me and don't get sidetracked. Mr. Kazem,
feck off.
Follow me and don't get sidetracked.
About it before.
But Mr. Ingram, who is the Royal Highness's guest, has requested no noise of any kind.
Okay.
Okay. Where was
I don't care what tempo you work.
It will be slow.
I need help! On the floor! On the floor! Do it!
Dang. This isn't going well. Alright, I know what I'm gonna do. This is that stairway, like right there.
Huh?
It's a dark horse pick. I loved it. I thought The Gentleman was outstanding. I really loved that movie.
Sorry, but Mr. Ingram, who is the Royal Highness
Like, I really enjoyed that movie a lot. I thought that movie was just freaking awesome. Haha, money. This one had me dying. Represented Hank Johnson, just President Trump, and the MAGA movement want black Americans back to picking cotton. It's like, what are you talking about? It's like, yes, there you go. I don't think it's his best. My favorite is Sherlock Holmes. I mean, I like Sherlock Holmes a lot, but I think it's just kind of a good movie. I've never considered a great movie. Like, I actually rewatched Sherlock Holmes, like, very recently, like, a couple of weeks ago. I was watching it at work. I like it. It's fun. But it's kind of a long way from being a great movie. Like, it was probably, like, of all the viewings I've had of it, I was just kind of like, yeah, it's fine. It's alright. Like, it's like I'd give it like a 6. I need to rewatch Game of Shadows because I don't remember how good or bad that is. I really don't recall.
Sir, I'm afraid you don't have the right clearance.
Oh, don't have the clearance. Wow, racist. If I could disguise my way out of this. Now do I have the clearance, huh? Just call me Clearance Boddicker.
Yeah. Hey.
I was like, yeah, looking good there, Chief. Oh, whoops. Probably not the best way to... Whee! I like Game of Shadows. Moriarty is such a good villain. Yeah, I liked Jared Harris as Moriarty. I do remember him being really good. I'll say this about Sherlock Holmes. I don't know if I like the casting of Rachel McAdams as Irene Adler. I don't necessarily mind kind of the romance angle they give, because you could argue that even in Doyle's books there's a hint of that to an extent. Like, even though Watson was like, no, there's no way he felt that, but at the same time it's like you can... His body language that they describe suggests that it may or may not be romantic, but there's some, at least, ambiguity to what he feels in regard to Irene Adler, which makes it dynamic really interesting. And it's not necessarily that Rachel McAdams is bad in the movie, it's just I felt like they could have cast somebody a lot better. I have a hard time believing she's dangerous. Jared Harris was fantastic. He's an underrated actor. Yeah, Jared Harris is excellent. I'm pretty high on him as an actor. He's really good. He's great in The Green Knight. He's great in the Mission Impossible movies. He was an excellent choice for that. Who would I have picked? That's the thing, I'm not totally sure.
Soon, this will be over. Maybe it's time to think about the future.
It's just, I don't know, when I see Rachel McAdams, it's hard for me to see kind of the hardened criminal version. Like, it's hard for me to look at her and think that's a hardened criminal.
She'll make it right.
I have a hard time buying that from her.
She always does.
We have a fix on Carlisle.
And she's supposed to, like, say what you will about the modern Sherlock show. The woman they cast as Irene Adler is kind of great in that role. She was a really good pick for that. Now, that show kind of fell apart after season 2, as far as writing's concerned, and it had issues before that. But girl that played Irene Adler, that was really good. And she looked the part. She looked like somebody who you could buy being a criminal.
We handed you an empire.
It's for the best.
All right, see you, Jacob. Have a good one.
Set in their ways, but power is more than just security. Providence can be an agent of change. Surely you understand.
I do understand, and don't call me Shirley. I watched the first season of BBC Sherlock. It was awful. I don't think it's awful. I enjoy it. I mean, it's got plenty of issues, but I think it's entertaining. I think the first... I mean, I find all of the seasons in some respect entertaining, but as far as quality is concerned, I think season 3 is where it really falls off a cliff. Part of it is the writers. They are kind of agenda-focused, and that starts to creep in. They're very atheistic, and that starts to really crop up in certain scenes to where they just can't hide it, their disdain for Christianity, and it was like, okay, that's kind of aggravating. But there's some wokeisms here and there that are aggravating, that don't belong in the show. But overall, at least the first 2 seasons, I'm like, yeah, it's enjoyable. I like it.
You tend to be reminded of what truly matters.
Now, I will say this, even though, like the first episode of Sherlock, I really enjoy the episode, but
You ready for this?
the end is really bad of that episode.
Who will you be?
Like, what you basically, like... I mean, well, here's the thing. I have rewatched the show a lot. I have rewatched it. But I'm not arguing that it's a good show. I'm just basically stating that I found it entertaining.
Alexa Carlyle is
So there's that divide there. I'm not necessarily arguing for its quality. Because like the end of the first episode, for example, they set up this cabbie who's the killer and whatnot.
Carlyle, wisely sees that a number is up, has emerged from exile to tie up loose ends and secure the Carlyle legacy.
But
She will be a monster.
when you basically find out, it's like, oh, they're like, well, how do you know which bottle they're gonna pick? And it's like, oh, I just know. I can read. I can read people, and I'm like, really? That's all you got? That's the big superpower this cabbie has? Well, I can read people. I know what they're gonna pick, and I'm like, that's really cheap. Like, that's really cheap. And that kind of ends up being a trope throughout the show, is that a lot of the big reveals of how things get figured out are extremely cheap. It's like, this is not very good. I won't do a rewatch then of The Gentleman. You should. The Gentleman holds up. Swear it came out. I loved it before I had a channel. I keep seeing people online tearing it apart. Really? Who tore apart The Gentleman?
And it ends here. Talk about poetic.
One more thing.
I haven't seen a lot of discourse around The Gentleman. I've never heard it getting torn apart. I quite liked that movie. I mean, it's possible there's things wrong with it, but I quite liked the movie, and I know the show is actually held in very high regard. Which I still need to watch the show. I've heard the show's really, really good. I know even the EFAP guys liked the show. Alright, for real, this is one of my favorite maps in the entire game. It's a great map. That's kind of Guy Ritchie's Return. I agree. I like The Gentleman a lot. Granted, I very much like Blue. I watched it before I had a channel. So I would be curious to see how it holds up under scrutiny, I guess, but I've never really seen anybody tear it up. It's interesting. Ritchie's new movie looks good too. It does. Guy's a workhorse. He puts out a lot of movies. Learn from making a channel. If you like something, just stick to your views. See, I'm not necessarily like that. I don't know if I agree with that. It depends on how... I mean, to me, it's like... Stick to your views if you can defend them, I guess, but be open to having your mind changed. I would say it's more my approach. I like part of why I like movie discussion is because sometimes my views on things get challenged. Like I really enjoy the movie Annihilation. When I started to see some of my favorite creators rip it apart, I was like, okay, well, let's hear what they have to say. And I heard some of the arguments against it, and then I rewatched it, kind of looking for those things, and I was like, okay, yeah, it has quite a lot of problems that I initially did not notice. And while I still enjoy the movie, I'm like, yeah, I can't deny those problems
Can't deny those problems exist.
Private investigator. I have an appointment with Madame Carlyle. Please wait.
Mr. Whitmer is here to see Madame Carlyle.
I probably should have.
That is Phineas Whitmer.
Phineas Whitmer?
A famous private investigator, hired by Madame Carlyle this morning.
He's a famous detective.
Maybe you should do some detecting yourself, 47.
I agree.
A famous private...
Yeah, I know. We just talked about it, lady. Lady. Have you ever had your beliefs and faith in Christianity genuinely challenged? Not really. Well, I shouldn't say not really. It's like, it depends. As far as challenge to the point of non-belief or that level of doubt, no. As far as challenged in terms of like certain views on the subject that I had, absolutely. I mean, I used to be what people would describe as Armenian. Which we were talking about this the other day. I used to very much ascribe to that belief system. I don't anymore. Granted, I don't call myself a Calvinist because I've always found that distinction kind of strange. I don't know everything that Calvin taught, so I can't assume that I would believe everything John Calvin believed, but generally when people say you're a Calvinist, they're talking about beliefs regarding like free will and election and stuff like that.
You gotta be kidding! Hey, we need some help here. Please get some help.
I might have to replan this. As if you like a film or dislike it, don't wait for another reviewer to make a video hoping that you agree with them or them you. I mean, I like seeing whether or not I'm agreed with or not, but I've now I'm much more confident now in my ability to discern whether a movie's good or not. Now that doesn't mean I totally agree that you should not be waiting for someone to affirm your views on that. I completely agree with you there. But I would say more it's just make sure you understand how to determine what a good or a bad movie is. Like, have a standard. I guess is the best way of putting it. Make sure you have a standard by which you judge something. Now, it's fine to change that over time. I have. But, like, after I watched Deadpool Wolverine, for example, I was curious to see what, like, Drinker and Mahler and all them would say about it. But I was firm in my belief that it was a bad movie. Now, was it vindicating to find out that, like Mahler and all them, that Mahler, for example, didn't like it? Yeah, that was actually kind of vindicating, because I was like, cool, they see the issues I see.
I'm curious why he's here. Maybe you should do some detecting yourself, 47.
Not really, Israel, no. You're incorrect on that. Number one, it's like, predestination should not be a view that any Christian has a hard time believing in, because predestination is literally a word used in the Bible. It is literally used in the Bible. Predestination occurs in Scripture. For those he foreknew, he predestined. That is Scripture. So it's really just determining what that means. The sticking point for Arminians versus Calvinists in that discussion is Calvinists don't believe free will is the same as what Arminians believe free will is. We don't believe that a person is really capable of choosing Christ on his own. That you're not free until God frees your... You don't have a free will until God frees your will, in other words. So it's like basically the onus is completely God's. I keep drawing over the wrong people. What the heck? I don't like this. I need this guy to walk away. Dead, blame it.
What? God.
Jeez. Okay, we gotta... Dang it. Okay, start over.
Yeah, there's those that believe. Number one, it's like one of, to me, the biggest dead giveaways against Arminians is this whole notion of you must accept Jesus into your heart, and I'm like, that's not in the Bible at all. You never see that phrase uttered once. It's a kind of an odd concept. But it's a non-scriptural concept. It's a non-biblical concept. This idea of quote unquote accepting Jesus into your heart. That is never used in the Bible. Not at all. Nothing even resembles that. There's nothing in Scripture that resembles that statement whatsoever. So I've like that. Even when I was of kind of the more Arminian side of the discussion, I always had a hard time with that. Because aside from the fact that it didn't appear there, like I said, there was nothing even resembling it. There was none of this, accept him into your heart. It's like, that's not what it says. That's not even really what it describes. It was actually a huge issue for me for a long time. Which then when I started to read more into the matter, I was like, oh, it's because it's wrong. It's incorrect. It's like, you can really look throughout Scripture. It's like, God chooses his own all the time, like literally all the time. That's how many yeah, I know, and I think all of those churches are wrong. I will tell you flat out, all of those churches are wrong to use that kind of you must accept Jesus into your heart. And I'm like, that's not what the Bible teaches. It's not there. So they're teaching something that isn't there. Which shouldn't be surprising that a lot of them would teach the wrong thing, because what does the Bible also teach? The way is narrow. Many will say to me on the day of judgment, Lord, Lord. It's like there's a lot of people who think they're Christians that aren't. And it's not necessarily like everybody who operates under that premise is necessarily not a Christian. It's not to say that. It's just I would say they're just doctrinally incorrect. If they're wrong, well, that's the thing. I do believe it's a false doctrine. Now, do I think a person who believes kind of the Arminian thing can be saved? Yes, I do. I think you can be an Arminian and be saved. I think you misunderstand how you got there.
Why don't you just go and check it out?
I think Arminians are mistaken in how their salvation occurred. Like, 'cause that's kind of one of the things, like, the distinctions I make personally. Is like when if someone asks me, oh, shoot. I always get caught. Darn it. Even though I came to Christianity in kind of under the Arminian framework, I don't necessarily consider that time period me not being a Christian. It's just I didn't have a good understanding of what it meant to be one.
I have an appointment with Madam Carlyle.
That is Phineas Whitmer, the famous private investigator hired by Madam Carlyle this morning.
Hired by Madam Webb.
Maybe you should do some detecting yourself.
Nope, can't do it that way either. Darn it. I always thought I got his disguise early. Maybe I'm just going about it wrong.
That is Phineas Whitmer, the famous private investigator hired by Madam Carlyle this morning.
Okay, thanks.
I'm curious why he's here. Maybe you should do some detecting yourself, 47. A famous...
Phineas Whitmer, private investigator.
Don't move a muscle, buddy.
I have an appointment.
This is not going well. This is actually going quite poorly. But yeah, as far as that discussion goes, yeah, it's like if you look throughout throughout Scripture, the way it's described is your faith doesn't come from you. It's not really a choice that you make in the sense of the word that we mean. It's like you're able to choose based on the nature you have, and before Christ you have a sinful nature. And it's like, so you have choices, but your choices are pretty much all. You can really only kind of make the choices that a sinner makes. That somebody who is a slave to sin makes. And it's like, it's God who gives you your faith. I mean, that's stated explicitly to Peter when he says, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. He says, this was not revealed to you by man, but by my Father in heaven. It's like, that's a pretty explicit statement there. It's like, oh, he's saying that's where your faith came from. It came from God. Or the Pharaoh in Egypt. It's like, did the Pharaoh in Egypt, was it his choice? Or it's like, who hardened his heart? God did. If you look at Jacob and Esau, what did he say? Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. It's like he chose Jacob. When Moses didn't come to God through a choice, God came to him and chose him. When Jesus came to the disciples, he ordered them, follow me. That wasn't a request, that was a command. You look at, Paul to me is the most glaring example. Paul was an awful person, and then Jesus came to him on the road to Damascus. It's like, I don't know how you look at it in any other way. Once you start examining the evidence, like, gosh, it becomes kind of hard to deny it at a certain point. Are you kidding me?
Let go of that person. What the hell are you doing?
Unbelievable. How the heck do I get his disguise? Oh. Paul even looked to discredit. Yeah, exactly. It's constant throughout. It's like, these aren't people who are accepting Jesus into their heart. These are people who are compelled irresistibly, it seems. So I don't know how else to look at it. Even when you look at, the words they use in Greek for, when it talks about God drawing people to faith in him, the word draw there in the Greek, it's the same word they use to describe people being dragged away to prison against their will. And I see this type of ending in church all the time. What do you mean, this type of ending? Oh, as far as like the altar call? Well, yeah. Well, there's a lot of Arminian choices because that is more appealing to the human psyche. Because it's like, look, free will is a complex matter, and it's simpler to just believe, oh, we can just always choose. And I'm like, it's very. Honestly, it's kind of a childish understanding of the idea.
The famous private investigator hired by Madame Carlyle this morning.
It's like, oh, we can just choose anytime we want. It's like nothing. It's like there's nothing influencing my choice. So I'm like, well, of course there's things influencing your choice. Like even an atheist understands that. That's why there's a lot of atheists that argue against free will altogether. Is because they're like, well, it's like all of your choices are basically, determined by like upbringing and stuff like that. Now, again, I don't think they're correct, but there's a reason they kind of get on the track they do. It's like there is a sense, there's an element to their thinking they're correct on.
Do me a favor and see what that's about, would you?
It's the understanding of influence. It's like they don't come to the correct conclusion, but there's something they're onto in a certain regard. Okay, let's see, we got him now. Alright, let's see how well we can hide him. Because we finally have him. Let's drag him into the bush. Don't look, Mr. Hedge Clipper guy. Haha, we did it! Finally. Freaking finally! Alright. Okay. I am now Sherlock Hitman.
Oh, by the way.
Oh, I don't mean to be going all incognito.
Well, I thought.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. Oh yeah, we're gonna get frisked. Which makes sense.
What did I tell you?
He just seemed to really be attacking Arminian ideas and his atheism. He really didn't like the sort of soft Christianity they want harder. That's true. Nietzsche's an interesting person in that regard, and I can see how that pushed him away in a lot of respects. Which is unfortunate, of course, but yeah, I mean, I think he was. I mean, granted, I don't claim to have read a ton of it, but a lot of the stuff I've read him, I'm like, yeah, it's like those are good criticisms of Arminianism. And these kinds of false doctrines give your life to. Do you mean that as a statement or a concept? As a concept, that has plenty of merit. It's like if you actually. It's like, giving your life to the Lord. It's like you are supposed to serve in that respect. That's a good thing to do. But as far as like the salvific sense in which that generally is said in like a lot of these Armenian churches, yeah, it's a statement that means very little. And again, that's part of what was so difficult for me growing up in churches like that is I didn't know what these statements meant. I was like, what does that mean? Give your life. It's like, in what sense? What do you mean?
Madam Carlyle has asked me to assist you in any way possible.
It's like a lot of those statements were just odd to me. Whereas now, believing more biblically, I'm like, okay, now it's like that statement means something very separate to me.
I prefer to get started.
Which, granted, it's said in a different context to me now. Yeah, okay, yeah, I figured that's what you meant by it. But yeah, it's. Or give your heart to him, or accept him into your... And I'm like, it doesn't really mean anything. It's such a flowery statement, and it's just like, what does it actually mean? And generally, I don't get any good answers on that when I ask people who believe that still. I mean, there are people, like I said, there are people who are of that side of the discussion. I do believe are genuine Christians. There are. I think they have a wide misunderstanding of what salvation actually is.
I'll consider her dead when I leave.
But yeah, to me, it's like, it's kind of,
The case concerns the death of Mr. Zachary. Madam Carlyle.
It's like when God grants you faith, to me, it's a lot more along the lines of like when you learn 2 + 2 = 4. When you learn 2 + 2 = 4, it's not something you choose to believe. It's like, it's something that once you see it and understand it, you're just like, okay, I know this now. I know this now. It didn't come from me. It's just like, it's right there before you. 2, 2, 4. It's like, yeah, I can't deny this, can I?
A locked room murder mystery 47.
This is a fun mission.
Get to the bottom of this.
Get to the bottom of this.
Why don't you use your camera to scan the dead body, 47?
Scan. Each also said he could write in 10 sentences what it takes someone to write 500 pages to write. He was really smart and stubborn. I think that's why he had a hard time with certain concepts, even if I think he was wrong. Yeah.
Throat markings indicate a rare, short-lived plant poison killed him. Spread shows time of death at around 10 o'clock last night.
You do know your poisons, 47.
See, this is part of what I like about this particular Hitman game is they add some really cool elements to it. Like, I really enjoy this mission. This is a cool mission for real. You literally get to play detective. I was like, this is neat.
I think the crime scene has more clues, 47.
Are there clues in, like, multiple rooms, though? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there's also some hidden rooms around here, too. Aha! Pull the book!
A hidden door.
It's a secret passage. This could explain how the door was locked from the inside.
Yeah, that's where you need some kind of cane or something like that.
Yeah, hey, bro.
Really? Yeah, hey, bro. Hey, you doing some detecting there, bro? Hang on, let's investigate the laptop. Have you ever read Catcher in the Rye?
Zachary was shopping for new Wellingtons last night.
I think I did a long time ago. I don't recall. Like, I'm aware of it, obviously, but I don't remember if I actually read it or not.
Zachary's suicide note. Also, a sample of handwriting. It could be relevant to compare to other samples to establish its authenticity.
A kitchen knife. You could stab somebody. That's all I got. Let's see. I need a crowbar. I could break that. Yeah, that's the other thing. This game incorporates shortcuts, which is cool. A little peephole. Stop peeping. Psh, never.
A photocopy of the
Or do you ever watch the show Lucifer? I love it. Besides a comedy, I like the idea. Even Lucifer is eligible for redemption.
I believe you've done a thorough
During the
search
show,
of
he tells people, "You humans always blame me."
Maybe it's time to see the butler. I'm curious about the information.
See, that actually would be a sticking point, at least as far as an interpretation of Christianity. I would have a huge problem with that, because Lucifer is most certainly not eligible for redemption. That's kind of the interesting thing about angels, is angels are not eligible for redemption. Angels basically their fate is set in stone. Like, devil's the devil and his fate is sealed. Now, granted, if I were to watch that show, I wouldn't view it from a standpoint of a religious interpretation. I would just try to look at it objectively as a piece of media. I'm aware of the show. I've never watched it myself. But that particular idea I don't like, because I'm like, well, no, that would be in contradiction with the Bible. The Bible's pretty clear about his fate. Now, the idea of, like, always blaming the devil for when you do something wrong, it's like, well, no, you can't always blame the devil. The devil's not the reason you always do things wrong. It's like a lot of what we it's like we are every bit as much our own enemy as the devil would be. So, can't always blame the devil. That you cannot do. I mean, even when Eve blamed the serpent, she was still held responsible. The serpent, the serpent was the devil, of course. It's like he was given his punishment for his temptation, but at the same time, Eve was still punished, Adam was still punished. I think this is a room with some clues. But yeah, I've heard of the show. I know there's a lot of people that really like it. I've never seen it myself. I watch it But I like the different idea. Hell itself is a manifestation of guilt. People can actually leave hell if they forgive themselves. I mean, as a spiritual concept, I think that's retarded, but I mean, this doesn't mean necessarily in a narrative sense you can't pull something like that off, but like as a spiritual concept, that's like silly. But
Listen to this. She claims to have witnessed Alexa and Zachary.
Ooh, a walking cane. We actually can do stuff with
There's no
that.
family without secrets, 47. But this family seemed to outdo most.
Oh, we can take a picture of one of these thingy-bobbers. Looks like probably the shoes? It's very Dark Knight. Very Batman. Because, like...
Here are matches for Dark Knight Batman.
Okay, I just apparently activated Siri by bringing up Batman. She was like, did somebody say Batman? But, like, the whole forgive yourself thing, the funny thing is they tried that in Rise of Skywalker, which was hilarious and just really embarrassing. Literally, Kylo Ren forgives himself by manifesting Han Solo in his memory. It's so funny. After the Lionheart, the more of a BA. Yeah. How far gone are people, and how much evil are people beyond redeeming? Well, as far as like the Christian element to that discussion, the idea of redemption is not a question of whether it's basically it's like a human can't redeem themselves on their own. That would be the biblical concept: is humans they can't redeem themselves. They're redemptive. They can be redeemed, but not by their own means. It's because our nature is to be rebellious. Our nature is to be selfish. Which, I mean, if you look throughout humanity, that's kind of true. Even the decent things we do tend to be motivated by selfishness in some respect. That's why oftentimes where you see people being charitable, they like to promote their charity. Well, that worked out horribly. That didn't go well. But redemption is something that Christ enables through what he did. And like where like people of my faith differ from like Catholics, for example, is Catholics have a very works-based notion of salvation. They think that you have to earn your salvation. So it's very much a merit-based system, which is very non-biblical. Whether they would like to admit this or not, it's very non-biblical. The way it's laid out in Scripture is that you're capable of doing good, godly works after being saved. It's like it's after salvation that you are able to work for, according to God's will. That's when you're capable of actually living a godly life, is post-salvation. Like, basically, works are the result of salvation, not the cause. Whereas Catholics seem to lean more towards it being the cause. So it's a huge difference between... That's why it's like when you see Christians like myself out there saying it's like we don't consider Roman Catholicism to be Christianity at all, that's part of the reason why. Is because it's like, well, it's merit. It's a merit-based system of salvation. That's not what we see in Scripture. It's just not there. And it's also, when you think about it, that's kind of a terrifying system to think about. It's like, wow, so how much good do you have to do? How much bad can be tolerated? It's like, because you're not going to stop doing bad, selfish things. It's like the way John MacArthur put it, it's like you still have that dead person clinging to you. It's like you still have your sinful flesh clinging to you, which is why you still fall and still mess up. You're still going to sin. But it's like in Catholicism, it's like it's a system that I find it's like, wouldn't you be terrified? Like, if you mess up, how do you even know how to balance the scales back in your favor at that point? Whereas the more biblical view on it is that the work that was already done by Christ is what saves you. It's like by believing in him, it's like that's what saves you, and now you're capable of doing good. But your salvation's not dependent on that. Now, there are obviously those people who will look at that and say, oh, so I can just be saved and sin whenever I want. And I'm like, well, if you have that attitude, you haven't been redeemed. It's like that's kind of a clear indicator that your faith is fake. It's like that you're phony. It's a pretty clear indicator of that. Whereas a person who's truly redeemed will desire to do God's will. Doesn't mean they'll always do it well. They'll still mess up. But salvation has caused you to be reborn, and now you actually have a desire to do good, which you didn't previously have. Yeah, it would take a long time to exposit all of that in one discussion or online, but yeah, there's a lot to it, but that's kind of some of the general ideas. Critical Gamer 473. I was streaming Hitman 3 today, bro. Awesome. Nice. Cool. Good to see ya. Yeah, I am a big fan of this game. I'm a big fan of this particular level. This is a cool level. Where's that other part of the secret room I was just in? Where are you? There's an old lady up there. Oh my gosh. That sounds like a bad minister. It sounds like an evil minister. This is a letter opener. Oh, these two are they're all macking on each other. Watching LeBron go up to Stephen A. Smith. That was cringe, dude. That had me cringing. Almost as much as Stephen A. Smith kind of cowing to it. I was like, oh, dude, really? And this guy thinks he can run for president?
Not this again.
I thought that was like kind of cringy. It's like, well, he was approaching me as a father. I'm like, I don't care. You didn't say anything wrong, did you? But I stream all the stories in Hitman 3 before. All the stories. What do you mean? I'm a little confused by that statement. Basically, as far as my own playthrough is concerned, I've been pretty much doing all the missions from Hitman 1 up to Hitman 3. Yeah, I do the cinematics and stuff like that, but yeah, I try to be extensive, at least as far as like the story content. Because I like the story. I think the story in this is pretty cool. I like it. Oh, okay, this is the room I wanted to go into. Oh, I thought it was a secret room.
You're calling from Morgan, Yates, and Cohn. I need to get a listing of asset transfers from the Carlisle...
Ouchie. Okay, we gotta drag this fellow. And 3, there is a training. Then this Hitman story, Hitman 2. Yeah, I did all that. I did all of that. Okay, I thought that might be what you meant, but I wasn't totally sure. But yeah, I've been doing that very thing, including like the DLC, all that good stuff. So yeah, this is my part 8 of my online playthrough. I've played this before. I've platinumed this game, and I've pretty much gotten all the trophies on all the Hitman games. I very much like this series, but yeah. This is, like I said, this is part 8. Now, if you're wondering why if you've looked and you didn't see those streams, I re-upload these streams on my gaming channel, which is called Gaming with Gourd. If one of my mods wouldn't mind putting that in the chat. But yeah, I leave these streams up here on my main channel, usually for a couple of days, and yeah, then this will get moved over to there.
This all confirms that Arthur Edwards stole everything from Madame Carlyle. Perhaps you
But I play them here live because, I mean, obviously I've got a bigger subscriber base here. It enables like super chats and stuff like that. But yeah, the re-uploads go there. I am going to at some point put more content on the gaming channel beyond that. I get my main channel in here. Oh, cool, cool, cool. Dartmoor. It's the little doggy. The dog picture is magical. Oh my gosh. There we go. Scanning. CGX. Ah, cool, cool. So you also have multiple profiles. Neat. Neat, neat, neat. Let me see real quick. Hang on. To driving. If you ever see Lords of the Falling on sale for 10, grab it and stream it. I was fine paying 20. So when I stream on, cool, cool. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point Lords of the Fallen is given to us for free on PS Plus. A lot of the cheaper games they tend to give us at some point or other. Oh, well, thank you, CGX. I appreciate that. I will stop by your channel as well. I like to support other streamers. Let me see if I can... Okay, I can go to your channel from here. There you go. I just subscribed to your channel. Actually, hang on. Let me do the thing real quick. So I know sometimes you'll subscribe to someone, and if you don't actually click on their content, the algorithm will unsub you. So, I'm gonna go ahead and like one of your streams real quick. There we go. That should make sure the subscription sticks, just in case the wonky YouTube tisms try to do their thing. There we go. There we go. But I appreciate your subscription, yeah, and I will... Like I said, I just subscribed to yours as well. I will try to pop in and say hello from time to time on Revolution. Not on Discord all that often, but I don't have a link on me right now. I have Discord, but I rarely use it. But doesn't. But we'll try to figure something out at some point. See, what time is it? It is 6:21, so I've been at this a little more than 2 hours. Probably have to stop at some point relatively soon, because obviously I've got Cannoli's stream coming up. We're going to be talking The Ninth Gate. Not a good movie. Hey, look, a hammer. But
What's up?
I'm also working on a script for Cleaner, which is... what a movie that was. Oh my gosh, language! Can't going around saying that word.
Holster that thing.
I was the camera? Did he have a problem with me holding a camera? Oh my goodness. That camera's well, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, a camera probably would be something they wouldn't want you carrying around. A lot of secrets in this place, you know. Yeah, actually, I need to change back into the detective disguise, because that's the mission I'm on. Why did I change in the first place? What the heck? Who? I have to get a proper headphones. My voice is blurred out. Oh, you mean for the voice recording? Yeah. I actually, I just use a mic on my... Granted, the downside to the mic I'm using for this stream now. Okay, so I'm playing this game from my PS5. I'm kind of still learning how to use like OBS and stuff, so I can stream some of the games I have on Steam. I only very recently started buying games on Steam because I didn't have a gaming PC for a very long time. I got one this past summer, so I have that now, and I have some cool games on there that I will stream at some point. Yeah, no delay. That is a good thing. But now the mic I have on my computer that I will use for streaming Steam games, I like significantly more than this one. The issue I have with this one is it kind of picks up everything. I do have a pop filter, so that masks some of the sound, but unlike the mic I use on my PC, like, it can pick up just about anything. So, like, if my cat were to walk around and start meowing, it would absolutely pick it up, whereas my other mic blocks out noise like that, which is far more convenient. But it's fine. I mean, it works for my purposes. This is a good mic to have. But I do prefer the other one a little bit more. But yeah, having a good mic is pretty good. Like, I use just normal headphones plugged into the mic. Yay, my cigars. But yeah, I just plugged this little USB mic into the PS5. This is Hitman 3 story. Yeah, this is 3. This is near the beginning of Hitman 3. This is the second mission on Hitman 3. We just did the first one where I was basically where you like parachute to escape, that whole thing. It's pretty cool. So when I buy the game on Steam, I download free. Oh, wow, nice. That's awesome. I think we're looking for footprints here. There we go. Ta-da! And then I think there's something in here as well. Oh wait, we're still on the same bloody floor. So wait, what's the thing that we're... Oh, okay, I just need to get closer to this old school looking mofo. But yeah, I try to get a good mix of games that I play on this channel. Do you play... If it's any indication, I've seen the acronym and I'm blanking on what it stands for. What is FIVM? I'm blanking on what that is. I'm actually quite terrible with acronyms. Okay, here we go. Alright, we've got that. Da-da-da. Little birdies. You should play those games. Well, what is F5? What does that stand for? I honestly have no idea what that even is off the top of my head. I've seen the acronym. I don't know off the top of my head what it refers to. It's probably something that's going to be very obvious when you tell me, but I'm like, I oddly don't recall.
Yes. She's insistent, that one. She kept asking all kinds of questions. Who had the other one? Why I gave it to her, that sort of thing. You did make sure she didn't see you give the other one to the butler? Of course.
A better version of GTA 5. Oh, interesting. Well, then I haven't played it then. I don't think I'm pretty positive I haven't played that. So is it like a mod for GTA 5? Is that what you're saying?
On top of things, Elaine?
On top of things? No, it's a tester.
I think. I can work while we
No
talk.
realistic.
Mr. Fernsby, I'm done with the crime scene.
Did you establish a time of death?
Zachary died around 10 o'clock last night.
Interesting.
Staff were off duty. And Madame Carlyle,
Is that on Steam? I would assume that's on Steam.
That leaves Madame's family and myself as the only persons here when he died.
But yeah, the game I was streaming before this one is I streamed Red Dead 1 and 2, which was a lot of fun. Those are two of my favorite games. Did the Mass Effect trilogy recently. I love those.
Hopefully that will help you keep track of your findings.
I believe I did. Yeah, I did Lies of P a little while back. I gotta get Google and search 5M. Gotcha.
Patrick Carlyle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Shit, it's that sneaky butler, isn't it? He ratted me out.
What's that snaky butler?
Elaine, give us some privacy, would you? She's really tense these days, and the last thing I need is more hassle. I took that pretty blonde, Rosie, for an evening stroll. I mean, how the fuck am I expected to cope for an entire weekend in this shithole? I'm bored out of my mind.
Yeah, this place is a real dump. You got me there, dude. What the heck?
What did you think of Zachary?
Creepy as hell. No ambition. Imagine deciding to live with nothing. You know, the father says Zachary and Alexei used to be two of a kind. He had a great future ahead of him. Suddenly, he just gave up everything. What an idiot. Thank God Daddy chose looks and brains over pedigree when he married Mummy. I don't have to worry about the inbreeding so customary in these circles.
Oh my gosh.
Did you see anything suspicious last night?
No. I reckon Zachary topped himself. I know I would have.
Dang.
Or perhaps Mr. Fernsby. I don't like him. He could have done it.
I'm thinking there's actually yeah, some of the challenges revolve around offing family members, which, you know, it's kind of understandable. Let's see. Or maybe back when I did it the last time, I was just doing it for fun. Ah, see? Pass fine with a cue ball, see? Cue ball. Bye-bye. Knocked him out. Alright. Let's see if we can find some other familiars. Alright. Alright, it's gonna be under feats. Pacify him when he's playing piano. Oh wait, pacify him with a newspaper. That's kind of funny. Beat him to death with a newspaper. It's like, that's one way to take a guy out. Alright, so we're gonna find us a newspaper real quick. Watch him put that one down, and I won't even need to. But, to be sure... Let's see, I did not grab one myself, so... But while we're waiting, we can take pictures. Let's see... is it the piano? Doesn't look like it's the piano. Oh, here we go.
You always led by example rather than by words.
I rewatched Watchmen this week, and it was the ultimate cut. I have to admit, I enjoyed it a lot more this time. I like Watchmen. I really like Watchmen. Awful a filmmaker Zack Snyder is, that's a good movie by him. You know, has problems, but overall, I like it. I think it's a pretty solid movie. Any section of the comic book was taken out. It was unnecessary. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of self-indulgent in that way. I don't mind it too much, having a little extra information. But, yeah, I mean, it's... I don't dislike it. Pacify while he's playing the piano.
Professor Edward Carlyle, can you tell me your whereabouts for last night?
Oh, yes. See, I prefer not to spend the night here at Thornbridge Manor. He'll never admit it, but I think he understands that I find this whole thing upsetting and wanted to provide some comfort. I believe we went to the Stag's Head around 8:30. Anything else I can do to help?
Can you tell me about Zachary's behavior last night?
I certainly didn't expect him to commit suicide. Sure, he was upset by Mother's...
He didn't say anything about it beforehand. I even say it's a great film. Shoot, even Drinker and Neurotic sing high praise. Yeah, I saw them talking about it because it had its anniversary this past week.
Did you know that he hadn't left Thornbridge Manor in nearly 50 years?
But yeah, I like Watchmen a lot. I think Watchmen's really good. It's a weird thing where, even though I don't think Zach's a good filmmaker, his style fit it well, and he more or less tried to adapt it relatively faithfully. I would even give him the praise that his ending is, like, as far as like the whole thing with Ozymandias' plan, it's better than what's in the graphic novel. I think the alien squid thing is really dumb, and he changed that for something that I thought in narrative made way more sense. And I was like, wow, good on you.
Like hugs and encouragement. Just a single spontaneous caress, what a difference that would have made. Right. I clearly remember when I was 5. I climbed a tree and could not make my way down. I was scared and called out for help.
Are you gonna play the piano or not, dude? Come on. Play the piano!
I was relieved that help had finally arrived.
But yeah, I very much like it. You guys did a panel on Watchmen the Ultimate Cut. I'd definitely watch, yeah.
Expertise. Oh no, that won't go. You'll just think I remember this because I'm wounded.
Watchmen would definitely be an interesting movie to discuss on panel. Come on, dude, play the piano! Alright, I'm gonna create a save here, because this is the douchebag is that they're just watching us. Uh-oh. Okay, well, I'll reload there, because I got the challenge completed all the same. Saying that it came out way too soon. Yeah, in a sense he's right, because I mean people weren't ready for a movie like that. I think Watchmen would do significantly better now than it did when it first came out, because it was very different from other superhero movies. It was I don't know if I would go so far as to say ahead of its time, because that would almost seem to suggest that there should be more movies like it. I don't necessarily think there should be, but it's a dang good film. I quite like it. I guess ahead of its time, it would be ahead of its time in the sense that yeah, it would have gone over better if it had come out later, like maybe 7-8 years later, just as it is. But it's also a really good looking movie. It's like the look of that film actually holds up really, really well. Though the sex scene between Owl and Silk Spectre is still terrible, and I still don't think she's good in the movie. I think Malin Ackerman was a bad choice. Like, I would almost, like, it's weird because it's like Carla Gugino as the older Silk Spectre is perfect. Like, she's exactly who I imagined, so there's a part of me that's like, man, maybe she should have just played the normal one, but at the same time, like, no, because she has that look of the old school kind of pinup model. But gosh, they really should have picked a better actress for Silk Spectre, because Malin Ackerman cannot act. She's not good. But I liked the guy they picked for Ozymandias, which I know some people were a little surprised that they picked Matthew Good, because he doesn't look the part necessarily, but I was like, I think his acting works great for that role. Billy Crudup's fantastic.
Ah, hi there.
Let me think who else.
Rebecca Carlyle. Can you
talk to
tell
her
me
now.
about yesterday?
We don't really see much of each other, my brother.
Obviously.
I suppose it takes our mother's funeral to bring us together, and even then, it's not like we sit on each other's laps.
Obviously, the dude playing Rorschach,
Patrick,
Jackie Earle Haley, is
straight after dinner.
just phenomenal. I think he should have been up for an Oscar. He absolutely owns that role. I think Patrick Wilson, I think he's great in it. Like, almost everybody is well cast except Malin Ackerman.
I swear Gregory enjoys Edward's discomfort over staying here. I had a conference call with my New York office.
But yeah, Jackie Earle Haley, holy crap, he's great in that movie.
In my room, and went straight to bed afterwards. I don't know about Emma. She did act a bit strange.
It's really one of the, yeah, exactly, he's perfection. It's honestly one of the best acted superhero roles probably ever. Like, there's very few people who have been in superhero movies that I would say did better than he did in that one. He is unbelievably good in it. Doesn't look like there's any, let's see, pacify all of them with a hammer. It's like, okay, well, we can't do that, but...
It's needing to be done once she gets her hands on Thornbridge Manor. Quite the shock she had when Mother arrived during breakfast. Is there anything else you want to ask me?
Tell me about Zachary. Did he act strange last night?
You know, now you mention it, he was a lot more chatty than usual.
I still find it hilarious that, like, Alan Moore inadvertently
of his is writing a book.
Created one of the most beloved heroes with Rorschach when he wanted him to be seen as the villain.
Anything else you feel like mentioning?
I may be wrong.
He wanted people to see him as the villain. I'm like, nah, that didn't work, dude. It didn't work.
A bit startled when he saw me in the hallway. It's probably nothing. Oh, and one more thing. Please be kind to Edward. Can only take so much.
I mean, have you checked Mr. Wolverine? Yeah, I mean, you literally don't need to ever do anything with Watchmen ever again. You basically got the best possible adaptation, and you definitely got the best possible Rorschach. Of course, then they turned around and made the worst possible TV show. It's like, what the heck was that? That was probably more in line with what Alan Moore wanted.
You were yesterday evening.
Oh, you're wondering about my alibi, Mr. Detective. Well, I left Thornbridge around 8:30 for a pint with Edward.
Correct.
I wish I hadn't. Quiz night at the inn. On the other hand, staying here with Zachary, my obnoxious sister, and the wife sporting another one of her headaches would have been a fate worse than death. The short of it, Zachary was very much alive when we left. I stayed for the last shout, and I was back here just before midnight. Anything else you want to pry from my...
Tell me about Zachary.
Zach? Huh. Such a sad old sod. A bit heavy on the bottle. But who could blame him? The only company he had was his rare plants and mother, who travels more than she stays here.
He did it with a plant.
I can't say which is the bigger ball. He's better off dead. Is
Dang.
that all?
Anything else you'd like to tell me?
Nothing really. I'm just enjoying the show. Our perfect mother obviously fucked up, didn't she? Faking her own death. You know, she's explained nothing to us. I think she's scared to own up to her own mistake.
This is gonna be another one of those things where I knock the guy out, and I have to reload, so we will save.
Say what? Someone took out the VIP. Get on your knees. Hey, you.
Get down on your knees and tell me you love me. Alrighty. Now, let's see.
Emma Carlisle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Surely I'm not a suspect.
I need to account for everyone.
Well, I spent the evening with my family, but I got an awful migraine and had to take to bed. Everyone can attest to that. I believe I went up when the boys sat down for a drink around...
I don't trust her. I think she's the killer.
How did you feel about Zachary?
I might as well be honest.
Do you like Watchmen more than V for Vendetta? Yes.
how do you have
I like V for Vendetta, but I would only describe V for Vendetta as a good movie, not a great movie. V for Vendetta has a lot of plot issues, but I do really like it. I think it's good.
Have you noticed
I mean, I think Hugo Weaving is freaking amazing as V. I love him in that movie. Like, I would say, like, V for Vendetta is one of those things where it's like the plot has problems, but the characters are phenomenal. Like, I really like the characters a lot. I think the characters are kind of what make that movie as good as it is.
Guilt isn't her strong suit.
Some of the plot doesn't make a ton of sense, but, you know, particularly how he manages to send out all of those costumes. I'm like, the logistics behind that do not make a lick of sense. But, yeah, it's not a bad, and it's not necessarily altogether bad plotting or anything. It's not like the whole story is broken in that sense or anything. It's just, it does have obvious issues. But it is a dang good movie. I like it. It's a solid 7, maybe 7.5. Yeah, love Hugo Weaving. I mean, Hugo Weaving in general, he's such a good actor. I low-key think he gives such a great, underrated performance in Hacksaw Ridge. Like I said, we talked about that on Jacob Ironside's stream not too long ago, and I was really taken aback with how good he is in that one. Yeah, Hugo Weaving's just, in general, awesome. Alright, let's see. We're allowed to go up here, right? Yeah. Alright.
I don't know who you are, and frankly, I don't give a shit. I'm not letting you through here.
Okay, I can't talk to her yet. Maybe we have to wait till she gets downstairs. I legit don't understand how Rorschach can be a villain. Well, the idea that Alan Moore wanted to go for is kind of the collectivist notion that, oh, Rorschach's too right-wing and he would be willing to... It's like basically he should sacrifice his principles for that greater good.
Mr. Whitmer, you found proof of what happened to my brother?
No, not yet.
Go and see Fernsby when you do.
Madame Carlyle.
Mr. Whitmer, you found proof of what happened to my brother?
No, not yet.
Go and see Fernsby when you do.
But,
Greetings, sir.
okay, I am good to come in here then. Cool. But yeah, he wanted people to see Rorschach as the villain. He wanted people to see his death and his final act basically as something villainous, and it's like, yeah, that didn't work. Most people were like, Rorschach's the best. He stood up for his principles and he stood up for good ones. It's like, basically, if you're going to create peace based on a lie, that's not peace. And I'm like, wow, Alan Moore, you really don't understand why that's a problem, do you? That's interesting. That seems somewhat telling.
You faced great obstacles too, I know.
Listen to this.
But yeah, if you saw Israel describing him as a communist in the chat, that's not merely a dig. That's basically true. I mean, he was. He is very Marxist in his views. He's kind of an idiot, to be perfectly honest, for wanting to inflict vengeance upon the most evil types of human society, murderers, rapists. Yeah. He wanted Rorschach to be viewed as a full-tilt extremist, you know? And I'm like, all you did was create a character people were like, haha, base, that guy's awesome. It's like, and the weird thing was, like, there were even a lot of liberals who were like, oh, no, Rorschach does seem like he's the good guy. And he's like, wait, what? I never intended that. So, that's what people read.
That is the door to Mr. Fernsby's office.
Mr. Fernsby.
Zachary's diary. This is big. He was about to confess to the world that he and Alexa murdered their older brother Montgomery 46 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
Mr. Fernsby helped make the murder look like an accident.
You need to forget about that.
Do you have to give humanity a common threat in Dr. Manhattan?
Proving he
Like
didn't
Chris.
write it himself.
He treated me like shit. All he wanted to do was play his stupid video games.
Well, that's the thing, like, Adrian, like, that's the thing. That's why I actually like Snyder's version of, I think he takes the concept of making Dr. Manhattan the common villain, and he does way more with it. Because that's not really what the book does. What the book does is he creates a common threat with this giant, out-of-nowhere, weird alien squid thing. And I'm like... But it leads to the same conclusion of Dr. Manhattan basically leaving for Mars, and I'm like, doesn't it make more sense to marry that idea with the idea of Dr. Manhattan being the threat? I thought that was done way better. Like, seriously, like, the way the book decides to resolve things is just odd. Many people left-leaning like Rorschach, and that surprises me. And if you don't agree with Ozymandias and his plan to save the world, you should condemn him and expose it secret? I mean, yeah, I mean, who would have thought? The really funny irony to Alan Moore,
if you use enough of them.
the really interesting, like, the funny thing about Alan Moore ascribing to that notion is the fact that it's a powerful, wealthy elite that comes up with it.
But I think you have enough evidence to convince Madame Carlyle he did. Maybe you should tell him you are ready to present your findings.
I'm ready to present my conclusion to Madame Carlyle.
Very well. If you'll follow me,
Of course, you want to do some more detecting, 47?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, it's just, it's interesting that such an anti-elitist Marxist would give the his more heroic role to an elitist. And again, ending like Watchmen, Eren Yeager didn't want to be the villain, but he felt he had to be. Interesting. I still need to watch the rest of Attack on Titan. I only saw season 1, which I very much liked. But I am interested to see where that went. Because I very much liked season 1. I thought it was very cool. I don't watch a ton of anime, but I'm wanting to maybe broaden that out a little bit, because I know anime's popular. It's a good way to grow your channel if you do stuff on anime, that's for sure. I know a lot of Gooch's growth is because he covers anime so much. Anime's popular. A lot of his anime live shows, and granted, it's also because his live shows are good. But viewership also is helped by what you choose to cover, and he covers things that are popular and have big fan bases, and I'm like, yeah, that's smart. That's just good, and he's consistent with it. And he just hit 25K. Well done, Gooch. It's so funny, because I remember, like, streaming with Gooch like a year ago or so, a little more than a year ago, I think it was, when he was still at like 600 some odd subscribers, and he just blew up like almost right after that. And I was like, what just happened? This is crazy. Yeah, I remember like his channel just all of a sudden started going off. I'm like, whoa, dude, that's wild. That's pretty cool though. What the heck? Oh, I had a weird text just now, and I was like, it had like this weird thing like Ranch Fest is live, and I was like, what the heck does that mean? It's something to do with like a pizza place sent me a text or something. I guess I'm on their list or something. Let's see, let's Sorry, I'm just reading some text from the MMM crew. Aw, a kitty cat. Where is the lady? Wait, he came back down. What the heck? Can I go up? Are they waiting for me?
How are you?
I'm good. Oh, I guess I can go in. Okay. I am good. I am good.
I'm ready to present my conclusion.
Very well. Let's talk in my office.
Let's create a... Let's see, where's our last save? At 50? Okay. Just in case.
So, Mr. Whitmer, you've reached a conclusion. Take a seat. Please, go ahead.
The butler, Mr. Fernsby, killed Zachary.
Fernsby? Oh, you've got that wrong. He would never do such a thing. He is the most loyal man I have ever met.
I found pills in his office that matches the poison that killed your brother. Furthermore, I found Zachary's notebook, half burned, in Mr. Fernsby's fireplace. It showed that Zachary intended to publish a written confession to a murder the two of you committed nearly 50 years ago. The murder of your older brother, Montgomery.
That's outrageous. We did no such thing.
No need to feign innocence. I know a killer when I see one, and my discretion is assured. The papers also described how Mr. Fernsby helped you stage the murder of Montgomery as an accident. I believe he killed Zachary not to be exposed as an accomplice to murder.
Sweet Fernsby. You are wrong, Mr. Whitmer. He did not do it to protect himself. He did it to protect the Carlyle legacy. Mr. Fernsby, like myself, understands that sacrifices must be made to secure stability and prosperity. Mr. Whitmer, I'd appreciate it if your findings never leave this room. I understand Fernsby's actions, and there is no need for them to have more consequences than they already have. Fernsby was very fond of Zachary, and I'm sure his decision will haunt him to the day he dies. About your reward, have you considered an amount?
I want the file you have on Arthur Edwards.
Arthur Edwards, the Constant. But that must mean you're... I expected you'd show up. But you're not here to kill me. If you were, you would have already.
Yeah, sure.
My enemy, I suppose. You can have it. You earned it. The file you want is in the safe. Good hunting.
Sir.
Good work, 47. That's the file on Arthur Edwards secured. Time to take care of Madame Carlyle.
I mean, they're not looking, so... It's like I still had a job to do, lady.
Mission complete. Well done, 47.
Uh-oh. probably not the best way. It's like, oh, don't worry, guys. She's still out there. Alright. Gotta make it to an exit now.
How are you today, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. Just pushed a woman off a balcony, you know? Just, you know, normal day. Normal day. It's what I do. It's kind of weird that nobody seems to have reacted. It's like I pushed her off and everyone's just like, ho hum, no biggie. Apparently nobody noticed the old woman flying off the balcony. I'm like, wah! Yeah, we got this little story part, and that will wrap it up for us, ladies and gents. Appreciate y'all hanging out. This was fun. Had a good time.
47.
Met a new folk.
Go, get out. It's the Constantine. Shit.
The Constant did what? The Constant hoped? Wow, that was quite the stomach growl I just heard. Ooh, I like the short baller, that one's cool. Another lockpick. More stiff. You owe him nothing.
47. Don't respond, just listen. Diana can't help you now. You need to find Olivia. She will know what to do. I wish there had been more time.
And then there were none. Thank you, Miss Burnwood. Now, it's my turn.
My friend, no.
Stay down. Boss wants you alive.
Yeah?
How about now? Over here! Cover me! Walk away!
Or what? You gonna take us all on?
Don't.
Tell the Constant to start running!
You think you've won? 47 is out there. And 47 never misses his mark.
Neither do you, Miss Burnwood. That's what makes you valuable.
You're delusional. You think I would betray 47?
Trust me, you owe him nothing.
What is this?
I told you we could help each other, and I meant it. I look forward to your call.
Gray is gone. Go to Berlin and stay out of sight. We're all that's left now.
And there you have it. So, that is going to wrap up today's stream. Appreciate y'all hanging out. It was a lot of fun. I will be back on tomorrow, but I think tomorrow I'm planning to do my gaming stream in the evening, probably around, I don't know, 8 or 9 o'clock or so. It's gonna be a later stream. I'm kind of wanting to do a little bit of a mix-up where I do one stream during the week, during the day, one during the evening. So that is going to be the plan moving forward. Fun hanging out with you guys. I will see you all again soon. Until then, good night, God bless, and Godspeed.